Welcome, everyone, to TJ and the Grumpy Old Man, a twice-a-week all-sports podcast that takes place every single Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and every single Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
8:45 Eastern Time.
Dude, you might as well just say it takes place on Thursdays and Sundays.
Sundays in the evening.
Thursday and Sunday evening.
and they go to the wee morning hours.
If you're new to the channel, welcome. This is a twice-a-week all-sports podcast where we talk anything and everything sports. We talk NFL. We talk NBA. We talk NHL, MLB, college athletics, world football. We talk anything and everything sports on this channel. So if you're new to the channel and you like the content that we put out, you like the conversations, you like the back and forth, make sure to do a few things here for me. Make sure to subscribe on YouTube and to like the video. When you subscribe, first off, it gives you a little notification anytime we go live, so you don't miss out on any of our podcasts. So
what's the noise? What's the noise it makes?
A little bing notification there for you, Grumpy, so you don't miss out on any of our future podcasts. And also, if you like the video, that lets myself, Grumpy, and SunX know that you like the content that we're putting out. With me here, as always, I've got the Grumpy Old Man. They say there's no shame to his game because he's always the same.
That's me.
And with us, we've got the magnificent Sun X. He is the king of comments, Sun X. So today we've got a lot to cover, right? You've got both the NFC and the AFC championship games, the conference championship games. We've got there some NHL All Star Break to cover, some NBA news as well to cover. But man, oh man, I tell you, a lot to cover. It's the NFL playoffs, baby. We're in. It's the conference, Grumpy, the conference championships. So, you find out, what is it, Grumpy?
Okay, Brock Purdy throws the ball terribly. A guy's ready to intercept it, bangs off of his helmet, pops up in the air, and goes right to the receiver. First and goal for the 49ers down at the 3-yard line. I think we can put to rest the theory that Brock Purdy is a good quarterback. We can just bury that one today, along with Lamar Jackson being clutch. We can bury those two things.
Oh, no. We're going to need to discuss more than that, because if I remember, Grumpy, all I heard from you all week, all off season, all postseason, this Ravens team. No. I'm not letting you get off the hook, Grumpy.
I just watched it again. It bounces. The guy, as a matter of fact, it was so far out in front. It's right to the guy, bounces right off his helmet and right. You tried to knock it down. It was so far away. It bounced off the guy's face mask. They got first and goal from the 3. Again, coaches, you've seen coaching blunders in the first game, coaching blunders in this game. Players win, coaches lose.
Yeah, okay. Well, here's the thing. Definitely some players found a way to lose. Don't you worry. Here's the thing. First game, big game of the afternoon. You had here the Kansas City Chiefs against the Baltimore Ravens. Grumpy, myself, and X all picked the Ravens to win this game. I guess I was a little bit more conflicted with my prediction, and I said, there's definitely ways that the Chiefs could win. So I went as long as I did describing that. But Grumpy thought the Ravens were a shoo-in to win the Super Bowl.
Absolutely.
And today, the Ravens found a way to lose. That's probably about the best way I could put it. They found a way to lose. They lose 17-10 to the Kansas City Chiefs. I want to get your initial reactions, Grumpy and Sun X, of that game. What you thought?
I'm going back to the players win games, coaches lose them theory. First half, for whatever reason, and I said, what was the one thing you had to worry about? John Harbaugh doing some dumb shit. So he goes away from all his tendencies of how they played all year long. Man-to-man defense, aggressive pressuring the quarterback on defense, on offense, establish the running game. Nope. He flips the script, and just before half, they finally realized, I guess we got to put some pressure on Patrick Mahomes. They only had something like 67 yards in the second.
John Harbaugh does not call the plays on offense or defense. So before you just build that ridiculously stupid narrative, that he doesn't do that. The offensive
you think a defensive coach like John Harbaugh has no input at all what type of game plan they're going to
Game plan and defensive play calling are two different things, my friend.
Okay.
It's not John Harbaugh. He's not the one dialing up the plays on that team.
Okay, but you don't think that he's going to say, hey, we've played man all year, and all of a sudden now the defensive coordinator wants to go zone and no pressure on the quarterback?
The head coach does not make the defensive
that's
play.
Horseshit. That's horseshit. The head coach says,
so you think the head coach John Harbaugh is making the play calls?
He's going to not. That's not the play calls. That was a conscious effort. We're going to sit back in zone and not pressure the quarterback. That was what their plan was. And on offense, they just stopped running the ball. They just gave it up in the first quarter. We're not even going to try it. It was baffling to me, honestly. I'm just like, they led the league in sacks this year, and they didn't rush the quarterback in the first half.
Hold on. Anytime you hit the quarterback, there's a penalty that's thrown on it. We saw 2 of those today.
I agree. The offensive and defensive coordinators called a horrendous game for the Ravens in the first half. That was one of the worst called games I've seen from an offensive and defensive coordinator.
Okay. That said, and there were some real questionable penalties not called on one side, called on the other. That being said, what do I always say? If you don't execute, you're going to lose. Zay Flowers has a big play, catches down to the 9-yard line, and he absolutely taunts the Kansas City defensive back. Dumb.
TJ, please post the thing that I sent you.
Okay.
Grumpy.
You're asking for my reactions, and I'm telling you. And then they drive down the field the second half. Ravens kept driving downfield, and then they do something dumb. Lamar throwing that interception, even though it was pass interference, into 3 triple coverage. Can't do that.
Believe it or not, Grumpy, we have all that stuff we're going to show one by one. So let's not splooge all over the place and just go ahead and discuss.
I told you.
I wanted to know what your initial thoughts and reactions to the game. High-level thoughts and reactions, Grumpy. That's what I'm looking for first, and we'll break down the game. X, let's ask you, what did you think of the game? What were your first initial reactions to that game?
I think that the Ravens had a chance to win the game. They started out really slow. There were, again, some questionable calls that were called one way and not the other, like always. And I think the NFL absolutely had their favoritism in that game. I definitely think. Lamar Jackson did make some mistakes, but again, the interception, questionable no call, another questionable no call, another drive down the field, another questionable no call on a pass interference. I mean, to me, when one team has 95 penalty yards and 8 penalties, and the other team has 2 for 30 on a drive that really didn't mean anything, there's questions to be asked.
Well, I think that drive did mean something. You're talking about, okay, my God, we're squabbling about penalties already. High-level items, I think the Ravens, the Ravens didn't deserve to win today.
No, I agree.
They did.
High level for me. I'm sorry.
Go ahead. You want to go back? You want to go back again and hit your high level? Go ahead, Grumpy, and then I'll finally get a word in. Go ahead and give what you think high level and try it again.
I think the moment was too big for Lamar Jackson, and he reverted back to what he's been in the past.
Okay. So I'm just going to go ahead and go back to what I was going to cover before I interrupted. I think the Ravens did not deserve to win today's game. You can't make a plethora of mistakes and expect to win. That simple. When you look at it, I told you guys all season long, Lamar Jackson's not a good quarterback. Lamar Jackson's not a good quarterback. Lamar Jackson's not a good quarterback. We talked about it on Thursday's episode. If the Ravens are playing from behind, they're not winning the game. The Ravens are a team, when things go well, they control the line of scrimmage, they control the time of possession, they run the ball, and we talk about this. They come out there today, they don't run the football. In the first half, they had 3 rushes to running backs the entire half. Everything was pass, scramble around back there. Or screen left, screen right. Your bread and butter all season long is the read option with running the football and letting Lamar Jackson get in space. And you didn't try to even implement that in the slightest. On defense, well, you're on a 3-5. You're only sending 3 or 4 guys on a blitz every single down. You cannot leave Patrick Mahomes back in the pocket with 7+ seconds every single down and expect to win a game.
Yep.
Can't be done. He is going to pick you apart, and there's no way in hell you'll be able to beat him. And sure enough, in the first half, moving right down the field, 10 for 10, 11 for 11, 12 for 12. It's like anybody with a brain understands you cannot leave one of the best quarterbacks in football, if not a top 3 quarterback in football right now, in the pocket against zone coverage with as much time as he wants back there in the pocket. You're not going to win. That simple. But guess what? They started putting pressure on in the second half. Oh, looky there. Wow, Mahomes wasn't able to muster up but 60 yards in the second half.
That's when the officials took over, was the second
The
half.
damage was already done because of poor coaching in the first half. Now, in the second half, the Ravens had their chances, but just as Grumpy had mentioned too, and X did, self-inflicted wounds.
Yep.
The fumble by Zay Flowers was costly. Costly. Yep. They win that game if he doesn't fumble the ball.
Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Now, I want to talk about Zay Flowers' issues he had there on that drive. Because I know Grumpy was starting to talk about this. He got a taunting penalty. Now, the one thing I will tell you about the taunting is such an unbelievably subjective call that it's hard to fathom. Travis Kelce can get up after every single first down and go right in somebody's face and throw a first down up, and there's nothing called for taunting there at all. But God forbid you spin a football and it bumps into somebody who's on the ground. That's called a taunting. It's just taunting is a way for the officials to say, I don't like the way he looked at somebody, so I'm going to call a flag. I believe there should be no taunting penalties at all. But all season long, how liberally do you see the taunting flag thrown out there in the regular season? All the fucking time. No, in the regular season, you see taunting on some of the dumbest shit ever.
Last year, yes, not so much this year. They pick and choose what years they want to emphasize certain penalty calls. That's known. That's known throughout the league. Last year they called a lot of tauntings. This year, virtually none, honestly.
It's funny that it makes its return back in critical moments in games. Now, here's the thing. That taunting call was not the reason they didn't score the touchdown on that drive. It was later on to where, hey, Zay Flowers finds a way to fumble the football as he's entering the end. I mean, you think about this. I wouldn't say this is one of the greatest forced fumbles I've seen. What a play by Snead.
It was a good play by Snead. He just should have went down. Take it first and goal from the 1. That's what he should have done. Protect the ball when you get close to the end zone.
Young players were not
just
that
FYI.
great.
Just FYI.
24-24.
24-24.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Thank you for the update. As I was saying here again before interrupted, young players sometimes think that they can do a lot more and think they have a much bigger impact than they can possibly make on the game. This right here is what that struck me as. You never, and I mean never, start trying to reach for the ball to cross the goal line. It's the easiest way for the shit to get punched out of your hands or for you to fumble a ball, hit off of somebody's helmet. It's just one of the things you learn. Keep the ball in close, my friend. This is the big play we're talking about here. That absolutely was a huge momentum shift in the game.
Call that could determine the whole game right here. Snead, it's out. Who has played at the highest level this entire season, Jim. Snead has defended the other team's best receiver, traveled with him all year, and he has shut him down week in, week out, and makes the biggest play of the season.
How the fuck do you not hold on to that ball, kid?
First of all, just go down. Hold the ball and get as much as you can. Go down. You had momentum on your side at that point.
Yes, they absolutely did. They think about it. The entire second half, the Ravens outcoached. The Ravens were outcoached in the first half. The second half, the Ravens were by far the better team.
Yes.
And that's why I was saying that I thought that they had a chance to win if he doesn't fumble that ball.
Yeah. I mean, that game is tied then. Or the Lamar interceptions. Like I said, to me, it was
pass interference on that play.
John Harbaugh tends to make here's what would have happened though. You want to know what really would have happened? Let's say the Ravens come down and score. He would have went for 2 points instead of kicking the extra point to tie the game and send it to overtime, and they wouldn't have made it and they would have lost because he's done that multiple times the last couple of years. Dumb coaches lose games for their teams.
Okay, he's not the reason they lost today's game. No. The reason they lost is because this MVP caliber quarterback that you couldn't stop talking about how great he was came out and laid a fucking egg. Okay. That's the reason they lost today's game. Lamar Jackson is throwing for 150 yards a game, and we think that's good enough to win a Super Bowl. It surely is not.
When your wide receivers and tight ends are getting tackled on plays and they're not calling anything.
Or dropping balls right in their hands.
Like Zay Flowers earlier in the game.
He's not good enough. He is not a good enough quarterback to ever win a Super Bowl.
Okay, now that's another thing. That's something else. you can't say he's not a good quarterback. He is.
He'll win
but you know
MVP
what?
this year.
And he will win MVP. But my whole thing is, in a big situation, he regressed today. He went back to Lamar of early years where I'm not throwing the ball. I'm just going to run it all the time anytime I feel pressure. That's
He
what
didn't do that this year. If you look at all of his production this year, he has all the time in the world back in their pocket, or he's able to roll out and throw
for
the ball
500 more yards than he did in his MVP season this year. You can't argue that.
Did he throw for 4,000 yards this year?
He threw for 3,000 or 3,300, 3,500 yards this year, TJ.
Thank you very much. He didn't even throw for 4,000 yards this year.
He threw for 500 more yards this year than he did in his MVP season.
Okay, talking comparison-wise, he runs the ball. He's not
a runner. That's right, he
football.
is. But still, he threw for. You can't argue that he didn't throw for more this year than he usually does.
Okay, just because you're saying, well, he did better than what he's done in the past. He's not a good thrower of the football. 3,500 passing yards in a season is not that great. It's just not in today's
NFL. It's tough to hit wide receivers when they're getting knocked down all the time. Again,
he is not a good quarterback. He's not a good quarterback. I told you guys this a million times. And how did he look today? Throwing in the triple coverage, overthrowing guys, underthrowing guys, making the wrong read. This kid is just not a good quarterback. He is a fantastic athlete. He is a shitty quarterback. And guess what? When it gets to nut crunching time, you can't win with an athlete at quarterback. You have to win with an actual quarterback.
Okay.
I guess agree to disagree.
You think he's good enough to win a Super Bowl?
I don't think
if certain things had changed in that game, aka Zay Flowers not fumbling that ball, yes, I think they beat Kansas City in that game. Absolutely. I think they beat Kansas City. They stopped Kansas City in the second half.
They drove the ball the whole second half, the whole length of the field, the whole second half, because they did not have great field position in the second half. They drove it 90 yards and he throws an interception, 75 yards. And the guy fumbles through the end zone. It's like, you can't do those things. It's just, you got to execute. And they didn't execute. That's why they lost. Let's plain and simple. Kansas City executed. They didn't.
You think he's good enough to ever win a Super Bowl? I don't.
No, I don't think so either.
They should move on from him.
They're not.
I'm not.
You're not going to trade the MVP.
Yeah, but you know what I would do? I would absolutely trade him. If somebody want him, I would absolutely move on from him because you can't win with him. He regressed today. He had not played like this all year. He went back to the Lamar Jackson of the early career where, everything's a bomb or I'm just running, because he had guys wide open all over the field. He wouldn't throw the ball. He holds onto it. Then it fumbles. I mean, it's like you can't turn the ball over every single game.
That's the way he's been all year. You don't watch any of those games. He always is this. And guess what? He just goes ahead and runs out of the pocket. He starts rolling out. It's a broken play. And then he bombs one down the field.
My God. Detroit's done. It's
Okay,
over.
Great. Detroit is done. The 49ers win. Fantastic. Let's continue on with the actual
remember what I told you earlier
now. Holy fuck.
Do you remember what I told you earlier today?
I don't remember.
Hate to say it.
Who cares? That's what happened. The 49ers are the better team. They're going to win today. Great. We can move on. We'll talk about that in a second, Grumpy. We're talking right now about Lamar Jackson, about
we said he's not good enough. We said he's not good enough. Okay, move on. We said he's not good enough to win a Super Bowl. Move on. We've already said it.
Too busy. How upset are you right now that Brock Purdy is moving that team down the field?
He's not good enough.
How upset are you, Grumpy? How upset?
I'm not upset at all.
I'm upset that
we've agreed with you, and you still have to. I mean, we've already made the point. You've made the point. We've agreed with you. Let's move on.
You think he's regressed, but in all seriousness, he's just not good enough.
Oh, fine. Next point. Sure. Yeah, happy now? Move on to something else.
Well, do you want to go ahead, X, before you start loading up comments? There's some items that you sent me. Did you want me to showcase those or no?
Show them.
Okay. So did you want to show, I guess, X was heavily in favor that there were some calls missed today. And now I think definitely were some calls missed. I don't think it had an outcome. I don't think it necessarily had a direct impact on the game. I definitely think they missed calls. They always miss calls. And this official...
Here's the impact that I have. 40% of home teams win when this guy's officiating.
That's like, wow.
Okay, so you want to talk about that.
That's a 10% difference, which is huge, which is massive.
Yeah, so when you talk about this, Sean Smith in the last 3 years, home teams in the postseason win about 55.9 times. When Smith is the official, home team's win rate drops to about 40.8.
And shockingly, he just magically manages to officiate this game, right? What's the thing that you heard on the talk show, Grump?
Yeah, there's a guy he's a professional gambler. He has an organization, he has one of those things, you subscribe to my thing, you're going to win, blah, blah, blah. So he has, and everything's like, any type of bet you could possibly make when it comes to football. And they asked him, he says, what is the matchup the league wants to see? It's San Francisco and Kansas City. That's what they want. They want Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. They want that. And they want San Francisco as the best team in the NFC. That's what they want. 2 marquee teams. So, and they said, well, the question was, well, did they do something with the referees? Like this week against Buffalo, they had a guy who's always refereed, Buffalo struggles with him. They calls the most penalties on Buffalo all the time.
Eric Hockley is who you're talking about. Yes.
Yes, that was last week. Well, this week they said, he said, what the league does, they go to and they see what benefits which team that they want to move on, and they just assign that refereeing crew.
Yes.
And that what they did was they assigned this guy's crew because he's always been detrimental to home teams. And today there were some calls that it's like, gosh, it's a bad look for the NFL. It really is. Like the roughing call when the guy
unnecessary roughness.
Unnecessary roughness.
Roquan Smith went through,
and he just hit the line. He just hits the lineman. That's 5 yards. They gave him 15 yards. That is never called. I've seen that 1,000 times where a guy gets run over at the point of attack, and it's always the 5 yards offside. They give him 15. I'm like, I can say I've never seen that. Never seen it.
And again, these are the more ones that are, I guess, are more being talked about now. Albeit, the Ravens didn't deserve to win this game. They didn't. You make so many crucial blunders, you don't deserve to win the football game. But I will tell you this: the officials definitely were one-sided. I believe.
You think they win with an extra 65 yards given to them? I guess is my question.
I think the Ravens, with how poorly they played today, even if you spotted them a fair game, they still find a way to lose.
I think if you spot them 65 yards, they win.
Losers find ways to lose. Guess what? The Lions are losers. The Lions will find a way to lose. Guess what?
It's coaching. It's coaching.
Okay.
It's that fucking hammerhead who's their coach. He cost when they lose today. It's his decision to go for it on 4th and 2 with a 14-point lead in field goal range. The guy drops the ball. They drive right down the field. They get that bounce for the touchdown. The first play, the Detroit gets the ball back again. He fumbles, bang, touchdown, and then that's it. They drop 2 passes on the last drive, wide freaking open, drop 2 balls. It's over. They lost the game. That hammerhead, that stupid son of a bitch, who I fucking hate, that Campbell, because you know what? I go by my guts. You know something? You're a dumbass. You kick the field goal. You kick the field goal. You go up by 3 scores.
You're done.
Why would you not do that? It's so dumb. It's scary.
Grumpy.
Chill out. So dumb. It's scary. So dumb. It's scary. He let them in. Then they get they get the lucky bounce off the helmet.
We want to focus on which game do we want to focus on, Grump? I don't want you to spend it or just spitting out.
You're the one who brought this up. You're the one who said Detroit.
You're the one who just got done talking. Do you just want to talk for an hour, Grumpy? Do we just want to make this the Grumpy show for an hour?
I can't comment. I'm not watching the game.
He's not watching the game. He's giving up on football.
I'm done. After tonight's debacle with the officiating, nope, won't watch it again.
Do we want to look at?
I might as well tune into Monday Night Raw. You get the same fucking product.
Uh-oh.
Do we want to take a look at the officiating that you guys have an issue with?
Let's see it.
Sure.
Okay. Well, this is what you're complaining about. Let's take a look. And now we'll put it in slow motion just so it's easier to see. Right? Like, okay.
Looks to be after 5 yards, wouldn't you say?
Okay. Yeah,
wow, look at him grabbing his arm back. Grabs his arm down before the ball gets there. He's after 5 yards.
Here's the thing.
Don't be doing that shit.
Here's the question. Have I seen things like
They're
this?
holding fucking hands.
Are you going to let me speak? Damn it. We all can see X that he's grabbing the hands. Have I seen stuff like this called before? Yes. Should that be called?
Yes.
I don't know. Here's the thing. If this is Travis Kelce in the Chiefs, this is called every single down. That's the problem I have.
That's right. That's right. And it happened early. It happened in the game today where they called the ticky-tack interference penalty with the ball, or a holding penalty with the ball didn't even go that direction. This one here is worse. That's the worst.
I don't know how this is not called.
That's on
sorry.
3rd and 5. That's on 3rd and 5.
Like, this is okay. Whoop. That's definitely contact after 5 yards where he trips him up and runs him over from behind.
They also don't have it on there. The Zay Flowers touchdown, they did the same shit where they were grabbing Zay Flowers, and Zay Flowers just managed to get away.
Here's the thing. When you have Romo and that corporate shill, who the hell is that?
Gene Steratore.
Gene Steratore coming out and saying, yeah, they probably should have called one there. I'm like, yeah. Again,
what their explanation was.
Okay, when Kansas City had a call go against them, the head coach and the quarterback are all week. They're out there saying, this is so bad. They took it away from Travis Kelce. They did this. They start whining and bitching. They get all the calls. You saw Mahomes today complaining about punt coverage calls with the official. I'm like, sit your ass down, buddy.
Absolutely hits him.
This is the one you're
absolutely hits him.
Okay, I'm gonna let you know something. First,
that's a spot foul. By the way,
what the fuck is Lamar Jackson doing?
It doesn't matter. It's a spot foul.
He is throwing into triple.
There's your penalty right here, though. Here's your penalty right here, though. He's got him. He's absolutely all over. He's trying to come back for the ball, and he just runs right through him.
That's a spot foul. They're down at the 1 yard line.
At the 2.
Okay.
Or at the 2, whatever.
Block 1 and 2. Please. He makes contact. If again, is this usually a call? Sometimes yes, sometimes no. If this is the Chiefs and this is Travis Kelce doing this, this 100%. Is a call every single day of the week. And that's the problem I have, because there's definitely contact from behind. He definitely goes ahead and runs him off. You're seeing here.
He's trying to go back to the ball.
And he gets shoved over. He gets tackled.
Yeah. I mean, it's
pass interference.
Likely he's trying to go back on the ball. It's just a dumb. The thing that pisses me off about this.
Guess who the culprit is again? 27. He did it 3 times today. 3 times, number 27, just tackled people.
This is the other thing you wanted me to send you.
Yes, exactly. Wow. Because guess what they said? They said it was an uncatchable ball, which is why they couldn't call it. Yeah. Where the hell is that same energy in the Super Bowl last year?
Yeah, I do remember that. That kept the Chiefs alive. Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
it's the same fucking play to me, right?
Here's the thing, though. You can look at all these items. You could find always issues with it. The issue that I have specifically on this play is Lamar Jackson has receivers open. He throws into triple.
At the end of the day, it's a penalty that wasn't called.
He throws into triple coverage. You have a guy exiting his break, entering in a spot into the field to where, and I mean, there is no one in this area. You know you're going to have a guy exiting his break open. You have guys who are going to be open. You didn't need to rush and fuck up that throw. I'm shocked there's no call here. And again, he absolutely runs him over from behind. You have the official looks at it. Yeah, but I don't know. Not a good.
But hey, they're the away team, so can't throw a flag on that.
Right. If he doesn't run him over, he's able to stand his ground. You know, that ball's on line to maybe hit him. But here's the thing. The Ravens didn't deserve to win today's game. I think the officials are absolutely.
You spot them 65 yards, they win today.
I think the officials are absolutely in the bag for them. These are the items that I always have issues with, where I'm like, they're blatant, right? Like, and I get it. Guys hold every single down. Look at the right tackle here. Boop, boop, boop. Anytime you're getting your ass blown up and you're just starting to hug a guy from behind like this.
Penalty.
What about the
again, like that shit happens all the time. Here's the thing. I think they want the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. Absolutely.
You can show the other thing that I sent also.
Yeah, and again, like I think it's to look at the NFL is a business, and what's the job of the business? To make as much money as humanly possible. Here's the thing. It doesn't matter how badly they rig, and trust me, there have been a lot of allegations of the script this year in rigging games in order to cover spreads or not cover spreads because they're in bed with gambling. It won't shock me at all that the Taylor Swift has generated the equivalent brand value of $331.5 million for the Chiefs and NFL. Apex Marketing Group tells Fox or Front Office Sports. The figure includes print, digital radio, TV, highlights, and social media going back to Swift's first game in September. So just her being associated with the Chiefs has increased the brand value of the Chiefs in the NFL by about a little over $330 million. Well, they're going to want that very valuable asset to be on center stage as much as possible. They're going to want her to be showcased 1.5 million times at the Super Bowl. I mean, even today's game, how many times did we see Taylor Swift, the camera? Oh, Travis Kelce brought a ball. Whoop. Let's look to see what Taylor Swift is doing up there in the stands all the time. It's gross. It's disgusting. They obviously want that to be pushed because it makes them money.
And that's the specific reason why I won't be watching the Super Bowl this year.
You'll watch.
No, I won't.
Here's the thing. The NFL knows. The NFL knows. Just like you, X, will watch the game. I'll watch the game too.
No,
and I'll watch.
You think I'm going to watch that? I
lose.
absolutely will not. I absolutely will not watch that game.
You will watch to hope the Chiefs lose.
I'm not even watching the NFC Championship right now because I don't give a shit. I'm totally over it. I'm not giving them my viewership. Forget about that. Nope. Nope. I'm done. I'm done with the NFL. If I want to watch Monday Night Raw and fucking Sunday Night SmackDown, I'll tune in to fucking USA Network and watch that shit. I don't need to watch something that's scripted as hell. I don't need it.
SmackDown's on Friday nights.
Whatever. Who gives a shit? Don't need to watch it.
Did you watch the Royal Rumble last night?
Nope. Because guess what? I have no interest in watching something that's scripted. I don't. If I want to watch that, I'll go to the movies.
Talking though about how the Ravens lost themselves the game. Right? We're 3rd and 5. Going down the field. 7-7 game. First half.
This is right after the 15-yard unnecessary roughness penalty. That's right.
No, I think it's just something else. X.
No, this is the same drive.
Okay, just watch X, okay? The issue they have, look at this.
No
4-man blitz. 4-man blitz, no pressure, and a late rusher. He's able to escape a little bit, boop, and able to complete a pass. Realistically, okay, you think about it from when the snap of the ball is here.
9.87 seconds to throw the ball.
He didn't even get pressure. He didn't even get pressure in his face.
Yeah.
I'm not even saying that's pressure. That's just him freaking not managing the pocket well at that point. He doesn't really start getting pressure on him until about 7+ seconds. That's when he starts facing a little bit of pressure in adversity.
That looks like a hole.
You're not going to win.
73.
You're not going to win games. Okay, X. Here's the thing. You're not going to win games if you don't put pressure on the guy. He's way too good of a quarterback to win a game without. This is what I mean. I think the issue's more, even if the officiating is bad, the Ravens didn't take the necessary steps to win.
It's on the head coach. It's all on the head coach with the dumb scheme that they had. Because guess what? The head coach determines the scheme. Okay? It's not the defensive coordinator. Hey, coach, this is what we're doing this week. Particularly when the head
coach. Hey, John Harbaugh, what are we doing this week? I know I'm the defensive coordinator, but can you tell us what we're doing this week?
You're trying to tell me that he has no freaking input over the final game plan? They were an aggressive pass rushing team all year. They played zone. They played layup like a 7-7 drill. They went back to it at the end of the second quarter, and that was the end of the game. That was the end of offense for the Chiefs. It was absolutely the end of the offense for Chiefs until they made that adjustment. I said it to X early on. I said, why are they not doing what they've done all year, which is be aggressive? They led the league in sacks. They had 61 sacks, and they didn't even rush them. They didn't put any pressure on until the middle of the second quarter.
Here's the thing. They probably were able to get pressure just sending 4-man blitzes before the pass.
No, they were running blitzes all year long. All year long. Aggressive blitzes.
Here's the issue, Grump, right? Does John Harbaugh maybe have a say-so in game plan? Yes. But guess what? Your defensive coordinator and your offensive coordinator helps develop that game plan, okay? You don't have them in there. It's more on the offensive and defensive coordinator than it is on John Harbaugh. I'm sorry.
Absolutely not. When something goes wrong, it's all on the head coach.
Okay,
they
gotcha.
Make dumb decisions all the time. And he makes dumb decisions. He makes dumb decisions. How many years ago? Remember, I think it was 3 years ago, they went for it twice. They went for 2-point conversions where an extra point would have tied the game. They wound up losing both games. Do you think the offensive coordinator makes that decision? Absolutely not. It's the head coach who decides those things, those big picture items. It's not like the OC. Well, you know what? Let's just go for 2 here. No.
Grumpy. The guy who makes the on-the-field decisions regarding we're going for it or not is always the head coach. The guy who develops the game plan and the guy who puts in charge and calls the plays, that's the offensive defense.
He calls the plays.
Listen,
John Harbaugh was a defensive coordinator. There's no way that he's just saying, hey, let's see. We were aggressive pass rusher all year. We're just not going to do it here just to throw a monkey wrench at him. That is absolutely a John Harbaugh thing to do.
You have never, and I'll just tell you this, you have never been in a room before. You have no idea what you're talking about. Guess what? Head coaches sometimes.
Neither have you. Neither have you.
Here's the thing.
You've never been in a room.
Jesus Christ. Are you ever going to stop fucking talking and actually listen to hear? Are you ever going to listen to hear?
You've never been in a room with the head coach and offensive coordinator organizing what they do for game day. You've never done that either. Just to let you know.
Guess what? Just so you know, because you have zero, and I mean zero experience with this, sometimes the head coach gets angry at the coordinators because the coordinator doesn't do what they discussed, and they do what they want because they're the one calling the plays, not the head coach, right? So at the end, the autonomy goes to the coordinator who's making the calls, not to the head coach.
Hey, thank you for just proving what I said by saying the head coach would get pissed off at the coordinator for not doing what we said we were going to do. Thanks for just proving my point.
Grumpy. Wrong again, my friend. Your hatred for John Harbaugh is blinding.
I don't hate John Harbaugh. I just think he's a dumbass and he makes a lot of stupid decisions. He does it all the time.
Hatred for him and the other Harbaugh. Jim. You thought Jim is a terrible coach too. That's just the way you think.
My gosh, how many passes can Detroit drop?
Oh yeah, we'll just keep watching. I guess we'll put.
I don't know if you have the ability to pull this up as well, but can you pull up the first touchdown that Travis Kelce caught, where he gets in Kyle Hamilton's face, then spikes the ball right next to him? If you're able to do that,
I could do that. This is the item that before the game, I guess, was pissing off social media, and rightfully so. Right? You have guys in the kickers warming up. You're not supposed to get in their way and cause an issue. This is happening before the game. And I think I'll tell you one thing. It's really easy just for a normal fan to root against the Chiefs when you start seeing stuff like this, right? I don't have any skin in the game. I could give a shit who wins the Super Bowl. But I'll tell you one thing. When you see stuff like this, you're like, yeah, I'm not rooting for the Chiefs.
Yeah, I don't understand.
Long story short, you've got Justin Tucker warming up. He's entitled to space too, just like everybody else. Well, Travis Kelce goes there, starts throwing his helmet, throwing the balls away.
Child, I really want to see him get hurt. He's a player that I absolutely want to see get hurt.
Oh my God!
Okay, control yourself, please, for the love of Christ.
He's a child. He's a child.
And now here you see little whiny Mahomes, right? He's back there because guess what? For those who have never seen a pregame ritual and a pregame warm-up, there's guys from other teams all over the field, always doing the routines, and the kicker is always kicking on the opposite side, right? So here it is. Justin Tucker set back up to start warming up. Well, Holmes is kicking a little DRA. Unhappy there, saying, get the fuck out of our space, all this other shit. He sets it back up. And he's talking, right? All I need to do is warm up, and then I'll be kicking at the 45 and 50-yard line, nowhere near you. I just need to get a few practice kicks in, and you'll never see me again. It's just like, just picking it up and kicking and throwing the shit away. I'm just telling you, it just reminds you exact. Guess what? He is married absolutely to the right woman. I'll tell you that much.
that trailer park girl.
Oh my God. Yeah, it's just like it's for just a third party. It's like, yeah, hard to root for something like that. That's all.
They're turning themselves into the enemy with things like that. They really are.
Yeah, it's easy for people to root against when you do shit like that. Did you ever see Tom Brady throwing shit like that away, or Rob Gronkowski kicking fucking tees out of the way when people were warming up?
They were class. They were total class all the
time. Not spoiled children who are coddled by the league when they cry to them and get every officiating call known to man. And if one call goes the wrong way, well, they have a temper tantrum. So,
oh my God!
The weird thing is when I find a Travis Kelce spike right next to Kyle Hamilton after he talks down to him when he's on the ground. The taunting call that was not called.
Well,
dude, that I had here.
Travis Kelce played the referees. He played the referees like a concert pianist. I mean, he just kept on. He was absolutely agitating. The referees are looking at it. Baltimore overreacts, and all of a sudden, bam, they get the flag. But here's the thing. When Kelsey started going too far, his teammates at the end of the game dragged him away. You didn't see that from any of the Baltimore guys because they're.
Here's my thing. Why aren't they calling it immediately like they did for Zay Flowers? Why aren't they calling it immediately?
They don't want to be throwing flags.
Okay. Please.
No, they only want to be throwing flags on one team.
Okay, please. This is the one you're talking about here that you're upset about. I don't think this is taunting. The guy's holding on to him. He spins the ball.
No, it was.
He stands up. Okay.
My thing is Travis Kelce did the same shit on the other side of the field. Same exact thing.
How did she get on the field? I don't know. Did she have a field pass? I don't know.
Yeah, I'm sure she did.
Just by where she was
I love this. This, I'm telling you, it's just, I'm sorry. The officials, when you call shit like this, it's just fucking sad shit.
The whole thing is the officials have to see him laughing in the face. He started the whole thing. At this particular play, he went at this guy two or three times, and then you see Van Noy finally.
Kelsey comes in, does something, and there it is, right there. That headbutt.
Always the last guy.
It's a fucking
penalty of the game on Baltimore, and Kelsey was just loving it.
You know what happened in the old days? If a player did that shit, they'd run your ass the very next play. They'd run your ass.
Please.
That's a long time ago.
All right,
back when football was good.
Okay.
Okay. Now I'm just gonna let you know, like, just to show you, when you pull up Travis Kelce, all you just see is him with Taylor Swift. That's all you see there. Let's to Travis. Look at this.
25. Here's Kansas City from the night.
No, this sit right here. Watch. Gets in Kyle Hamilton's face and spikes it right next to him. Absolute same exact shit. The same fucking thing. Goes right down to his face. Talks shit to him.
Yeah.
He's talking shit to him right now.
Then after he spiked, he went and talked shit to him again, though. He went back at him again and talked shit.
Here's the thing. The officiating is clearly in the bag. Please calm down. Please calm
down, X. I told you, you're going to look like a total asshole if you want to continue this line of acting like this.
Here's the thing. The officiating, not great. But guess what? They're always going to be in the bag for the Chiefs. They're always going to be in the bag for Taylor Swift. They're always going to be in bag for that squad. But the Ravens didn't deserve to win the game. It's that simple. So
has Detroit's field goal kicker broken his leg? I'm just confused because
it's going pretty bad.
They just twice now have gone for 4th and 2 and 4th and 3 inside field goal range, missed both times, and they're losing. Again, Dan Campbell's just a fucking hammerhead. He's too dumb. He's a Lamar Jackson of coaches. That's what I will say.
Here's the thing. Guess what, Grumpy? The 49ers are the better team, and they'll win tonight because they're the better team.
They did not deserve to win tonight. Absolutely.
Well, they're winning, and they're going to win. So, X, you had some comments. We want to start getting some comments before we start talking about the second game here.
Hold on. Not that one yet. Okay.
Dake Kloppo, whatever the hell that is, says, "Ooh, I bet you he's so sad that little Jurgen Klopp is leaving his little Liverpool squad. Back to mediocrity they go. Back to mid-table Liverpool."
No, I don't think so. Interesting, he's leaving though. I don't understand why he's leaving.
The club won't support him with the amount of money. And it's because the club didn't choose to sell Mohamed Salah this offseason for £200 million, and they're going to get pennies on the dollar for him. So good luck.
Now he's hurt.
Good luck. Good luck on that. And I remember having a conversation with the lovely fella here, Kloppo, and I told him $200 million, and you're saying no. I said, you're competing for Europa League. Maybe you should consider selling. Now,
this is Alex once again. So he's not
creative names every week.
Well, I enjoyed that. So they didn't want to spend money, or what's the problem? Did they not want to spend money as a team? That's my question.
They've never financially backed him. That's the problem. And they have the ability, right? You could have sold a guy who was 31, 32 years old, Mohamed Salah, for £200 million, which would have really helped throw some extra dollars your way.
Injection of funds, right? To buy more players.
But they said no.
So the whole thing is seems like they don't want to spend money. These are the same guys who own, I believe, the Boston Red Sox, who don't want to spend money for the Red Sox. Now, Alex said that they're good. They're going after Mbappe. Mbappe is going to cost a lot more than that. I'm going to tell you what, they will not get Mbappe because that's an ownership group that does not want to spend money.
Yes.
So I don't know if that's the reason why he's leaving or not. Already the rumors are that they're looking at Xavi. Barcelona's coach, Xavi Hernandez, who said,
how's he done?
He's done at the end of the year at Barca, and they're saying that he could be a favorite for Liverpool. They play two totally different styles. I don't know if the players that they have on Liverpool fit.
You know what I think's happening?
What are you trying to tell me to stop for?
I'm trying to get an interjection in because X is just going to go ahead, X. That's not what's going to happen. Okay, go ahead.
Here's what I think's happened with Barcelona. They performed really poorly, and Xavi Hernandez now is realizing, shit, we're not paying officials anymore. It's kind of tough for us to win games now.
Okay,
we've been doing it for the last 18 years.
Why was that? Why was that even?
Because it's the truth.
The reason he's leaving is because he doesn't want to be fired by a club that he's a legend at.
Performing like dog shit.
For an underwhelming season. That's why he's leaving. The rumor is Jurgen Klopp is going to Barcelona, Grump. That is the big rumor.
I understand.
Klopp is headed there. Xavi, they don't even know what Xavi's going to do at the end of this season.
Liverpool has said the rumors are that Liverpool is interested in Xavi Hernandez. That's what came out today.
The rumor was they're interested in Zinedine Zidane too. They're interested in a lot of different names. I don't know if you happen to do any of the reading on Liverpool and what they're interested at. They're interested in a lot of different players.
All I said was, if you're interested in Xavi Hernandez, do you have the type of players that fit what Xavi Hernandez runs?
Xavi's not going to head to the EPL. Are you nuts?
Here's my thing. Xavi sucked as a coach.
That's my point too. He underwhelmed. What makes you think that they would go after Xavi Hernandez, who's underwhelmed at Barcelona? You think they're going to say, here's the keys to Liverpool?
He's not been a good coach.
That's what this show is about, addressing what rumors and what people say. I'm just saying, if they are truly interested, is it a fit? That's all I'm saying. Do they have the type of players that can run the Barcelona ticky-tack style? Because that's what he likes.
Maybe it is a fit for Xavi because he'll go to another team that will not financially back him. Maybe it will be a fit, just like Barcelona didn't financially back
Barcelona absolutely financially supported Xavi Hernandez. Absolutely.
Really?
He's playing
absolutely. Matter of fact, they helped him out so much that they were doing all type of shit they shouldn't do, and they were getting popped for it. Because they were overspending on guys. Absolutely, they did.
Frankie de Jong, they brought in. Okay, look at all the players they brought in. They're all on loan. Joao Cancelo.
Frankie de Jong's not on loan
anymore.
Was that Grumpy?
Frankie de Jong is not on loan.
Frankie de Jong is not
I'm saying I just was. If you let me finish, Joao Cancelo loan.
Yep.
You look at Joao Felix loan. Gundogan, they signed him, but he's at the tail end of things. They're bringing a lot of players in on loan because they could not sign them because they don't have the actual assets to do that. So he will be used to that. He'll be used to a guy who's working on a shoestring budget. Yes, he can do it.
Why don't they have the money to access those guys?
Because of Messi.
Because they they had their projections on revenue based on how they were going to do in Champions League, them winning Champions League or advancing in Champions League, and they couldn't do that. So they overprojected how much money they were going to have. They sold off all their TV rights. They've now sold their sponsorship to Spotify. They're having to sell turf from the old Camp Nou to freaking make any money to sign players. They're in a shithole. They're really screwed.
Yes. That's the issue because they were overspending and not bringing enough money, but they were absolutely spending.
Well, the overspending, not having enough money started with Messi. He financially bankrupted the club. He did. He
was a lot of players. Them keeping a lot of guys like Jordi Alba, Sergio Busquets. Neymar was another one that was a huge signing that they made.
On the transfers, they missed a lot of transfers in a row. They missed on Philippe Coutinho after paying £100 million for him or whatever they paid for him.
They missed on Depay. They missed on Lewandowski. They missed on Griezmann. They missed on a shit ton of players. A lot. Ansu Fati was another one they missed on.
He was a homegrown product. So anyway,
I'm pretty sure they still paid to get him.
No, he's a homegrown product. He was a Barca guy.
So he came up through Barca's youth academy then.
I believe so.
Okay, yes. Let's move on.
Let's please, X.
I don't know why you're getting on me, dude.
Because you continue to feed it. Here we go. Says here the refs didn't make Lamar throw into triple coverage. Snead knocking the ball away on the goal line. Van Noy headbutting Kelsey. Baltimore D lineman clotheslining Mahomes. And Clowney lowering his head into Mahomes' chin.
All dumb penalties, all dumb things that Baltimore did. Absolutely.
I think that those calls very easily could not be called or called depending on who is getting hit. If that is Joe Flacco at quarterback, are we calling that a call?
Like we saw in the Houston game where he got lit up after he slid down on the ground with no call earlier in the playoffs this year.
Some quarterbacks get the calls, some don't.
I just want to say one thing to Alex. Alex, you can't leave out you can't mention these things which all actually happen and leave out the stuff that doesn't go in the direction of the guy that you're rooting for. Can't do that. I mean, you can do it. You did it in the comment, but that doesn't mean that it happened. Drew said Dan Campbell just made this game at choice. He lost in the game today. Lost in the game with his idiotic bullshit that he does over and over and over again. Cost him the game. Down by 10.
Had a pretty good game.
No, he hasn't. No, he has not.
267 yards passing.
Okay, banger off the helmet that he overthrew. No, absolutely not. Gungun says, who's more sad due to the Ravens pooping their pants today? We hooping or Ray Lewis? So there's your cloud. There's your silver lining to the cloud. We hooping is not going to be cheering for the Ravens till next year.
I'm sad. I need somebody to send me We Hoop and having a meltdown on stream. That will make Grumpy happy. Him having a meltdown, throwing shit through his attic. Maybe he'll bust through and fall into this house.
You cannot check every single comment. I'm just telling you. You cannot check every single comment.
There's some that I didn't check. Chill. I checked a lot of them.
Okay. TJ and X, the memes are sent.
Okay.
Is that a comment?
Yeah, that's got to be checked. You got to let everybody know.
Okay, Kloppo, Grumpy, please keep reading comments, my friend.
Also, can't stand over a defender, spin the ball at their head, and push them back on the ground. I thought it was absolutely taunting. Here's the thing. Kelsey taunted with the first down sign right in the guy's face. He taunted, and he did it 3 times right in front of the ref, and then Van Noy retaliates, and he gets the penalty. If you're going to do it, just be consistent and call it on both teams. That's
you could just call offsetting penalties as well. If you don't like the way things are getting chippy, well, I saw obviously a taunt and I saw a helmet, so we're just throwing offsetting penalties and we say, be on your best behavior, ladies and gentlemen, instead of just giving it one-sided. That's what I mean by the calls are one-sided.
That's right. They went out of their way not to call that on Kansas City. And anytime Baltimore absolutely did dumb things and they deserve to be flagged, but you can't let some guys off and other guys not. Can't do it.
Yep, absolutely here. Next comment we got here is from Drew. Yep, there. Hello, Big Three. What's up, Frank? Alexander, grumpy old man. Alexander's back.
Ravens shit themselves in the game. Absolutely. Lamar Jackson, number one guy. Lamar Jackson and John Harbaugh. Those two guys. Alex says, only call that was questionable was the likely one in which Lamar threw the ball out of bounds. It wasn't.
There were 2 of them.
So
that's incorrect. That, you know what? Spoken from a true Chiefs fan. That's all I'll say. Alexander.
Alexander says, stop with the favoritism crap. Like, seriously, it's annoying, but those last 3 things that happened were not penalties.
I disagree.
Yeah, sorry.
I disagree.
Here's the thing. Alexander, we're so glad to have you back. He's still butthurt over Miami shit in the bed in the first round of the playoffs. Like we knew they would, right? We knew they would. Drew says, I bet the Falcons are happy they didn't pay Lamar Jackson. He's like Tony Romo and Dak Prescott with legs. Absolutely. Not every quarterback is good enough to win a Super Bowl.
Yep. And guess what we saw?
Again, not today.
I think there are certain Zay Flowers doesn't fumble that ball, and they make they change a couple of those questionable calls that they didn't call the calls. They absolutely win that game.
He had guys open all over the field, and he just wouldn't throw the ball. He just wouldn't do it. He was too busy wanting to run the ball.
A Zay Flowers fumble is what cost you.
Okay. Jesus Christ.
Next. Move on. Milo Bryan says, Grump, I watched the first game for you. I learned a Raven player's name, Zay Flowers. He said, today's a perfect day to F up, and I'm going to do it all day. That's right. Spot on, my little brownie. Spot on. He cost them today. Absolutely.
I'm happy you watched. I'm happy you watched some football, though. Happy you're coming around, my little brownie.
Alex says, why no offsides? Call it 250 mark of the fourth quarter with the bottom of the wide receiver lining up offsides, but it's called offsides on the Tony game winner against Buffalo. TJ, pull up the pic I sent you in the text.
Okay, give me a sec. One thing I do want to mention, did you guys hear about Kadarius Toney And I'll tell you, I don't know if this has any implications at all. He was very upset on Instagram Live saying that the team was lying about injuries that he has and has sustained despite not being injured. Did you happen to see that?
I did see that. I sent it to you today. So, yes, I did see that.
I didn't know if X sent it to me or not. Believe it or not, you guys all
really about to choke the game away. I don't know. I'm not watching.
They've already done that.
Oh, okay.
Game's over.
Okay.
27 unanswered points. It all started with that imbecile not going for a field goal to put your team up by 16, 17. And then when you're a field goal down, let's go for fourth down again. When you're in field goal range, let's do that again and have it not work.
In answer to Goon's comment here, I predict the Chiefs win the Super Bowl, and I actually predict that Taylor Swift gets a ring as well. I think they will give her a ring.
You have made that prediction. Yes, you have.
Yep.
Okay.
Any comment on this?
We're ready to watch this here.
Well, I was just going to see if Grump has a prediction about the Super Bowl.
You should read the comment and then comment on it. Can the Lions or 49ers?
Jesus, fuck, X, what are you doing?
Or
you got to read the comment. You have to read the comment first, my friend. If you're going to,
I thought Grump was reading it. Okay, whatever, fine, whatever. Here, let's move on to the next thing.
What, are you that fucking terrified to fucking read? Put this shit back up and read it out. Read it out, X.
Will the Lions or 49ers beat the Chiefs in the Super Duper Bowl, or will T Swift be dancing / prancing the night away in Vegas?
Absolutely.
So you think that T Swift's going to be prancing or dancing, or do you think that the 49ers will beat them?
49ers will not beat them. No.
Okay, so you think it's Kansas City's going to win? Okay.
No.
So here is I think
let me couch that for a second. Unless Dan Campbell is somehow getting the Chiefs coaching job between now and the Super Bowl. That's the only way the Chiefs will lose.
We'll share when we talk about the 49ers here today. I'll show you what I think is going to happen. This is Kadarius Toney. Last night, he went live on Instagram. Let's listen.
Fuck out of here. All these pussy ass, they try to play me. Oh, God. Bitch ass niggas. I just don't got to get on this bitch and be on no pussy shit, go clear no shit up. Because I don't really give a fuck. I don't fuck with y'all. Have y'all niggas to really do something. I do something. Hey, I ain't get on that. Oh, God. But, hey, look.
I can't even understand.
Y'all reading all this cap ass shit. You feel me? Believe it. I don't give a fuck. I ain't never been that nigga to go do all that. But yeah, man, that shit cap. I'm not hurt.
Cap means fake, by the way, for Grumpy and the other people who don't know what cap means. But let's continue. Listen, hold on. He's going to talk about this, Grumpy.
That shit. Say that shit. Suck my dick too.
Do we even need to listen to this? Long story short, he says he's not injured.
Oh, God. Not hurt. None of that.
I just don't want to play it.
On God, I'm not.
Hip, been. It go from hip to ankle to this to that.
He's talking about how it goes from his hip to his ankle, all these other injuries they keep throwing out there, but he says he's not injured. Long story short.
Who cares? He sucks. That's why he's on the injured list. He sucks. What does it matter if they make him a game day inactive or what? What does it matter?
If you put a person on the injured list, if you put a person on the injured list and they're not injured, I don't think you got to be pretty accurate with what you report as injured or not, can't you?
You mean kind of like how they didn't say that Joe Burrow was injured when he actually was injured?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So anyway, I think that's one of those things you're not allowed to report guys as injured or not injured unless they actually are, because there has to be transparency in this particular sport on that. You can't just say guys injured with a lower body injury. Anyway, we'll go ahead and continue. Andrew L. here, Grumpy.
Who knew the only stance X has on anything is blaming the refs? Abso-freaking-lutely. When the team he wants to win doesn't win. That's 100%.
Am I wrong?
Dude, you are wrong. The Ravens didn't lose because of the refs. Once again, I'm not a Chiefs fan. I call it like it is. Absolutely. He was over the house today, and I'm not kidding you. 3 minutes into the game,
I told you they were going to lose. Was I right? What was the outcome of the game?
Oh my
what was the outcome of the game, Grump? What was the outcome of the game? Was I right or wrong? Was I right or wrong about both games that I predicted?
It is impossible.
Was I right or wrong? Thank you very much. I was right. Appreciate it. And what I said, my life that the
Shut the fuck up! Shut up! For once,
you're gonna wait to warn me.
It is impossible. It is absolutely impossible to watch a game where X has somebody that he's rooting for against. It's impossible. He's so ridiculous. He knows nothing about football till this year, and then all of a sudden he finally knows something about football. And what happens?
I was right. First quarter, 3 minutes into the first quarter, I told you they were losing this game. Oh no, they're gonna win. They're definitely going to win. The Ravens
I said, this is what I said. I said, you're 4 minutes into the first quarter.
And I was right.
Calm down.
And I was right.
game.
You can't beat the Swifty
whole
Army,
game.
dude. You just can't do it.
Honestly,
You
it
can't
was
beat the Swifty
ridiculous.
Army.
It was freaking ridiculous.
40% of
Oh
home
my
teams
God.
win with this.
All right, move on. Mute him. I don't want to hear him anymore. Mute him. Mute him. Hit the freaking button.
We got. Hold on, guys. Hold on. I want to take this time here in the podcast to take a deep breath. I want both X and Grumpy. I want you both. Listen to me. I want you, X, no longer to read, and Grumpy no longer. I want you both to close your eyes. I'm going to read our next comment. I want you guys to take a deep breath in and deep breath out for 10 seconds. 10 seconds of deep breathing for both of you.
I just want to mention one quick thing, and then I'll be quiet. Dog Z was so petrified by X yelling that he was like, he was scared because he wouldn't shut up. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, I want you both to take deep breaths, close your eyes, and deep breath breathing. I'm going to pop up the next. Close your eyes, Grumpy. Deep breaths.
Go.
Kloppo. I need your eyes closed, Grumpy. I need deep breaths. Kansas City dominated possession and controlled the game. 3 turnovers to 0. Kansas City took advantage of the red zone opportunities. Baltimore played better in the second half and had better field position the whole game. Well, that's not true. The last half is not true. The Kansas. Okay, here's the thing. The Ravens did not deserve to win today's game.
Nope.
The officiating I thought was one-sided, but the Ravens did not deserve to win. That is as accurate as I can be. Yep. This game, even if you gave Baltimore more calls, I still think they would have found a way to fucking lose because they found ways to lose today. And that's wouldn't change whether you had the calls or didn't. So I don't know what to tell you. Goon says here, what's the difference? What's the difference between taunting and the NFL and when these dickheads do synchronized dances or run into the end zone and pose in cameras after a fumble or after recovering a fumble?
Nothing. There's no difference.
Then why call it?
I think they should call it every single time. You know how to stop that shit? You flag them every single time. Eventually, the coach will say, hey, dumbass, knock it off or you're going to be sitting. That's what happens.
Here's the thing. I think the taunting thing is so subjective, and it's a way for them to say, I didn't like the way you celebrated. Here's a flag. It should be all not allowed or all allowed. None of this subjective judgment bullshit. Drew L says here, Jahmyr Gibbs is such a good running back, but my God, if the Lions actually lose this game, the city of Detroit is going to pull a Tyreek Hill baby mama and burn his house down. Oh, did he fumble the ball?
He fumbled one that actually, oh my God, no, it doesn't matter. Here's the thing. It's the coach who wouldn't kick field goals. He wouldn't kick 40 yards. Can
you please answer the question? What did
he
Jamar
fumbled one ball that tied the game up. Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, Kloppo says here, NFL coaching search reminds me of saying in life, it's not about what you know, but who you know. Yeah, it's not about the grades you make, but the hand you shake is another way they say it too. Definitely applies to the Panthers and the Falcons head coaching changes. Yep. I think absolutely the Panthers with that new young kid they hired there who is good old buddies with Dan Morgan absolutely could have an impact on that. So we shall see. I didn't want Lamar for the Jets, says Frank.
You didn't get him.
JB from the old man.
Good evening, gents. Another manipulated game in the AFC Championship. Great to see that post-game smooch between Swift and Kelsey just to make the TV show complete. Interesting NFC game as well.
Yes, I do like how that is. If you search Travis Kelsey, that's the only thing that's popping up on social media is him kissing his little Taylor Swift. So here's the only good thing. At least when the season ends, I don't ever have to worry about seeing her again on TV. I hope in the offseason they break up and I never have to worry about seeing her on television on a sporting event.
Well, it depends. They'll reassess, see what value they can get from the relationship, the NFL and her, and then they'll determine whether or not the relationship goes on.
Drew L says, I agree with TJ on this one. Lamar is a running back, plain and simple. His decision-making sucks, and his pocket presence is below average at best. Yeah, he also is way slower than his rookie season. I just think he just doesn't want to get hit as much either. I mean, like, the older you get, the less you're like, oh, yeah, I'm down for getting hit 50 or 60 times in a season as a QB, running the ball outside the pocket, not including.
I didn't see that from him today.
Drew says here, Lamar is not a franchise-caliber quarterback. End of story. Sorry. Yep.
Not one that you can count on in a big game. I'll just put it. That's what I'll say.
Any game. He's not a quarterback. He's a running back. Glorified running back.
You can't say that. You can't say that.
I just did.
I think he's 2-5 in the playoffs. When the pressure ratchets up, he's just not the same guy.
When he plays a team that is able to have enough time to scheme defensively for him, he suffers.
Okay. Move on.
Yeah, okay, move on.
Always a comfort,
The
JP.
49ers
Says, when
must
I
be doing
return to
pretty
the NFL football for the first time in a while to know they're still at their Dotto $64,000 question, 21 best.
I don't know what that means. Kloppo says here, Greg Olson, appreciation post. Since today was his last game in the main broadcast slot for Fox. Pretty good at commentating. Always pictured Tommy to be in the studio with Gronk. Gronk is an awful, and I mean awful.
If you let him just anything that where he has to talk, I talk just like this. The tight end is the new position that is dominating the league. That's exactly how he's on. Now, when you hear it, and that's how he's terrible whenever he is in that setting. If you just listen to him have a conversation, he's really lucid and he's actually funny. But you'd never see him like that. That's the problem.
The thing that I think he reminds me a little bit of, remember another guy, another ex-Patriot who really sucked in that role? Aqib Talib. My God, as an announcer, he was not good. And neither is Gronk.
Couldn't understand.
I was about to say Gronk is like a robot.
Yes.
So yes, goon, Grumpy.
Grumpy, think back to your high school career. Were you a muscular jock, 2, pencil neck geek, or 3, long-haired rock and roller? I was kind of like the guy who was always just trying to avoid things. I was certainly not a pencil neck geek. I was not a muscular jock. I was not a long-haired rock and roller. I was just one of the nameless rabble.
Just operating in the background. Drew says here, the so-called system quarterback just single-handedly brought the 49ers back into this game. Let's go, Purdy!
I totally disagree with that. It was Dan Campbell who cost them the game today. Stupid coaches make stupid decisions. They lose by 3 points, and what do you know? He decided not to go for 2 chippy field goals. I mean, unless the field goal kicker had broken his leg, even though he did kick an extra point, I just don't understand his play calling at all. It was just dumb. JP says, Dotto, 21 and $64,000 question roll. Game shows that were found to be rigged to keep the sponsors happy in the 50s. The Feds and Eisenhower got involved. True. I didn't remember Dotto, but I do remember 21. That's certainly the $64,000 question.
Brock Purdy is a great story here. And then we got here from Kloppo. He says here, did you watch Royal Rumble last night? The first time I've watched a WWE pay-per-view in a while. WWE week of success of having the largest crowd in Tropicana Field history at over $48,000, a $5 billion Netflix deal, and a Rock joining the TKO board. I'm not a big fan of Rock.
I don't think Vince McMahon thinks it was a great week.
He had to step down and all. And rightfully so, all roles. Yikes, Vince McMahon. Yikes. Glad he's no longer affiliated with the WWE. He's doing more harm than good at this point. Freedom, fun, and adventure.
Is tonight the episode where we all doing an intervention for X? Warden, the dog, the fiance doing us? God, I hope at the end of the main Marine recruiters bust in and drag him off the couch live on the air.
Yes, he at least showed up tonight for work. So yes, we're gonna have an intervention here. Kloppo says, excuses piling up for the Tommy boys there for Tom Brady boys. Here's the thing. I'm not a Tom Brady guy. How many times have you heard me multiple times say, I don't want to talk about Tom Brady anymore? I'm not a Tom Brady guy. He's the best quarterback that's ever played the sport, though.
I'm a Tom Brady guy.
I know you are. I'm not. And X is I'm not.
Yep.
Kansas City just went to Buffalo and won. That's correct. They did. And they went to the Chiefs and won. One of Mahomes' best wins of his career, if not the best.
No.
Today he didn't look great. I thought he looked much better against Buffalo than he did this week. Baltimore looked unbeatable the past few weeks. No, they definitely look beatable. And there's somebody who continued to say that.
Unbeatable. They looked unbeatable.
There was somebody who continued to say that this team was not good enough. I didn't think they had a shot in hell to win a Super Bowl. And there was somebody who was right on that. That's all I'm going to say. They didn't look that fucking great. You had to take the blinders off. Kloppo said here, the Tommy boys crying about officiating like the pot calling the kettle black.
If I'm not mistaken, aren't you the same one who still cried about the Real Madrid Champions League win?
Uh-oh.
If I remember correctly, that was an offside call that wasn't called.
Drew L says here, the Sam Darnold take that Grumpy said looks even more laughable now. He couldn't even muster up 200 passing yards against the Rams.
They were already locked in as the number 1 seed. It didn't matter. Didn't matter.
Pass interference. You never heard of hand checking. Yeah, well, you can't just hold and grab. Hand
can't
checking,
grab somebody's hand.
checking. Okay, hand checking, Andrew L, is when you are pushing each other and grabbing, not when you're running and a guy is pulling on your hand. That's not hand checking, my friend. JP says here, TJ, regardless of the chronicity or the chronic city of the calls and non-calls, they put the officiating crew that statistically favored the visiting team for the
absolutely did.
I think they absolutely did. Yes.
Absolutely.
Don't tell me that's not planned.
Like I said, the gambling guy that I listen to on Fridays, he's spot on every single week. Every single week, he makes these calls based on who the officials are, what type. That's his business. And
yes.
I just thought it was interesting that he called this one out again before the game.
It was right,
just like he did in the Buffalo game the week before.
Andrew L said here, the Isaiah Likely one definitely is, but I believe the ball was uncatchable. I can't remember.
Well, if you don't let him come back to the ball, that's a penalty. The guy wasn't looking at it; he just ran him over.
I think let's talk about the one that was overthrown, which was the same exact penalty that was called. Oh no, I thought. Okay, maybe
Andrew L or Alexander says here, how do you know, TJ, that that's called on Kelsey? Or how do you know if that would be called on Travis Kelsey? Just watch.
Well, they didn't. He taunted 3 times today and didn't get called on either one. The refs just
about the pass interference.
Jesus Christ, Grumpy, please stop. Wait for a second. He's talking about the pass interference call. If you've looked at it for the year, anytime that they get held, think about all the bitching that they do. Oh, man. And they just throw a little flag down. Think about the Jets game earlier this year. Barely touched, right? All the Jets fans remember that one. Barely touched. They were stopped on 3rd down. Barely touched, but they threw a 15-yard penalty. Or they threw, a pass interference penalty on on Sauce Gardner, right? And they gave him a 1st down, and that gave them the win against the Jets, right? That was a late call after the ball hit the ground, started rolling a few times. Whoosh, here comes the flag. Some teams get those calls, and we've seen that this year, and some teams don't. The Chiefs always get those calls, and the times they don't, man, those Chiefs fans never let you hear the end of it. Well, Scantling Jr. was tackled as he could have made a touchdown catch against Green Bay.
They shouldn't have thrown that flag when he was lined up off sides. They never call that.
Exactly. There it is. Here you go. A goon, Grumpy.
Will Starling Marte bounce back this season with the Mets? Will his contribution be a Mets? No, he's done.
I think he's finished. He's finished. Yep. Unfortunately. Alexander said, TJ, Senex Grumpy. That's not a PI. That's great coverage by the officials. And Lamar is an idiot for throwing it was triple coverage. And TJ, you don't know if that would be called. Yeah, it is. And things like that.
We can't tackle receivers.
Yeah. Anyway, it was a dumb throw into triple coverage, as I mentioned. Shouldn't have done it. That's right. If you don't throw into triple coverage, it doesn't even happen. It's not even a conversation.
The guy's open all over the field. Over the field. Wouldn't throw to him.
They were not good enough to win. They were not good enough to win. The officials were definitely one-sided, though.
That's right. And Lamar was absolutely a bust today. So was Zay Flowers and John Harbaugh. Absolutely.
Frank says here, fuck, you have to throw the John Harbaugh in there.
Absolutely.
The league wants that Swiftie money, and they want the Chiefs to win. I think absolutely they do. Because guess what? I'm going to take it one step further. If the Chiefs win, think about how many Swifties are going to buy themselves a Super Bowl champions with Travis Kelsey on the back of a shirt or a jersey. Think about how many Swifties that spend so much, hundreds of dollars to go watch her play in a fucking concert where she just plays music. Think about how many they're going to be spending on the jersey. Ugh,
how about a Taylor Swift, Travis Kelsey type of jersey / t-shirt thing?
Oh, wouldn't that be great? Like a collaboration between Taylor Swift and Travis Kelsey on a few NFL official jerseys and shirts. Wouldn't that just be great? With Super Bowl champions on them. Wouldn't that just have a nice little ring to it?
The reason I'm not watching. So
the only thing that matters to the NFL is the money. That's nothing.
Get ready for the 49ers to lose to the Chiefs, because I firmly believe they are going to do anything in their power to make sure the Chiefs win.
They're already fitting Swift for her ring. It's already happening. You know it is.
Oh, man. Here you go. Kloppo says here, you guys forgot about the Hail Mary. Oh, yeah. That's right. That's right. Because think about it. The times where they don't get a call, they can remember all of those on their hands. But guess what? They're not going to – you won't see Kloppo talking about earlier on this year when Sauce Gardner was called for a phantom pass interference penalty for the Jets, right? You won't see Kloppo –
Minnesota.
You won't see You won't see the multiple calls that were very questionable. You won't see the defensive pass interference call that was thrown on the field, the flag thrown on the field, and then you saw the Kansas City Chief player rip his helmet off on the field, which is also another 15-yard penalty. You won't see them talk about those blatantly missed calls, because it's just in the Chiefs' way. It's just in their fans' way. They're winning a lot of games, and they just turn their blinders on where they don't look at anything but, that didn't help us out. But hey, anything that doesn't help them out, they'll make sure.
It's called being a fan. It's just called being a fan. There's nothing wrong with that.
I'm not a sheep. I'm not watching that trash.
The Chiefs getting all the calls. Talk is clown talk. Pull up the video. Oh, okay. So we want to talk about. You can list out.
I'm not going back to a Green Bay Kansas City game. I'm not doing it. Next. I don't like to get involved. Now here's the thing. X and Alex get into these freaking ridiculous squabbles every day, and it drives me crazy. He'll call me up. I'm like, what is wrong with you? And Alex, I'm going to single you out too, because it's got to take two to tango. What is wrong with the two of you? I just say, I'm like, it doesn't matter.
You know what would solve their problems? If they just got on the phone and talked, like Phil's Facts talks with us. It takes about 45 minutes to get it to where it's like, all right, things are finally settled. But you just need to call each other up and talk on the phone, X and Al, and you finally would see eye to eye. But they don't pick up the phone. They don't like to talk. Neither of these two kids like to talk on the phone. They like to do all the texting. They send 1 million text messages a day. Anthony Rizzi says here, I don't like Kansas City, but I thought the Ravens were playing dirty. A lot of cheap shots and a lot of late hits. So I don't mind Kansas City winning this game, although whoever wins the 49ers and Lions, I want to win. Okay, fair enough, Anthony. Fair enough. Listen, Crapco. Oh, God. I'm a Jets fan, and my team outplayed you. That's right. My team outplayed your fucking team and was robbed on some bullshit PI call because of Taylor Swift. Oh,
was
man.
Taylor Swift there at the time?
Yes, she was at the game in New York. That's right. She flew. That was when their relationship just started. Ooh, and all the buzz was around Taylor Swift.
If you don't think the Chiefs get the calls, you're fucking delusional, Swifty. Al Swift.
Oh, gosh, here you go.
Yeah, they had to not call that to cover for all the bullshit calls generated for the Chiefs. Absolutely.
Oh, God.
It was like I said, I don't. X is a big guy who cries about officiating. I don't.
And that's in every sport.
Right,
that's not just
you wait your turn. Wait your turn.
Okay.
A couple of the ones at the end were really egregious, though. It's like, oh man, that's a bad look. Because I don't care who won. I didn't care who won. I thought the Ravens were the better team. Remember, my caveat was freaking Harbaugh, and he did not disappoint. The same thing in the last game.
Caveat was the shitty quarterback play.
It was not Harbaugh. It was a combination.
If they had played defense the way that they did all year, they would have shut Kansas City out today. But they didn't. That's on the head coach.
Your quarterback only puts up 14 points or 10 points.
It would have been 14-0. Would have been 10-0.
You're not good enough to win. Your quarterback's supposed to be an MVP candidate, and he can only muster up 10 points. You fucking blow, buddy.
I disagree.
Okay. Combination of Zay Flowers and officiating.
Kloppo says here, Purdy leading the 49ers back while y'all are crying over Swift and the Chiefs. Alex Smith, as unofficial president of Game Managers Club, he's not allowed in. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you this here. I like Brock Purdy. I like Brock Purdy. The NFL is not scripted.
Well, you know how you can know? Well, see, Alex can say that because the only way that the Dolphins would win is if it was scripted.
Okay. Okay. Here you go. Frank.
That was a cheap shot on Alex. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I don't know why you do that. Anyway, Frank Grumpy.
The NFL has teams they want to win for business reasons, and that's common sense. Yeah, if you want to think that it's a sporting event, it shouldn't be like that.
I agree.
Not be like that.
Yes, I agree. Got here Frank also saying, yeah, but Lamar sucked, and that's the reason they lost. Yep, Lamar played like trash. Played exactly like he's played all year and every fucking year. He's not UQB.
Not true.
Kloppo says here, former All-Pro defensive end Jared Allen has his sights set on the Olympics. He'll compete in the curling national championships next week.
Who cares?
Curling. What? Grumpy, why are you all pissy?
Who cares about Jared Allen playing curling? That's another friends and family sport. Now I watch it because
I like curling, believe it or not.
You want to know why? Because they don't have anything else on in the Olympics at that time. That's what makes it appealing.
The Winter Olympics.
Did you even watch the Winter Olympics last year when it was held in Shoho or whatever it was?
I watch the Winter Olympics. I absolutely do. But if you look at curling,
I didn't watch that shit last year.
If you look at curling, it's on at the beginning, like all by itself in the afternoons. There's nothing else going on. So it's the only thing you can watch. So that's what makes it appealing.
Okay. By the way, where the hell it was Beijing was the last Winter Olympics, I believe.
I thought it was Soho or Shoho or something.
Fuck,
it was somewhere cold. That's all I know.
No, the thing was there was no snow on the ground. That's why I didn't watch this shit.
It's held in Georgia.
There's no snow.
Florida.
It was just fake made ramps that they had. I'm like, I'm not watching this.
I like the Winter Olympics a lot more than I like the Summer Olympics. But who has Grumpy? You should have all the time in the world being retired now to watch all the Olympics. People who are working, Grumpy, we don't have time to watch
the Winter Olympics should be held every single year somewhere where it's every 4 years. Sorry, every 4 years where it's cold. It should where and there's snow.
Maybe they should
make you feel like it's winter.
Maybe they should hold it every year on the Arctic Circle.
I mean, it looked like they held this shit at like the power plant.
Dude, yes, I do remember that now. Everything was
awful.
There was no snow on the ground, and they were talking about the shitty ice conditions. Now it's all coming back. Yeah, I forgot about that. You go, Son X, I'm with you 100%. Fuck the NFL. It's become a giant mound of rhinoceros poop, largely thanks to lukewarm bastard Mr. Goodell.
Thank you very much. That's what I said today, Goodell.
Oh, my God.
He's the head honcho.
Don't even feed him this.
As soon as he made the FanDuel, he was like, let's get it on.
Well,
said,
I will say that's, the hypocrisy of the NFL. Well, we talked about it before.
Anyway,
Alex says, sure, let's allow the opposing team's kicker to practice where we're trying to warm up. Makes sense. TJX, we've done the same shit with Kelsey and Mahomes. Tucker deserved to have that shit tossed.
Here's the thing. You always kick onto the other side. You're not kicking when you're kicking the ball, and you could see his guy is there. If you see one of the clips, you see the guy in the black shirt. That's the Ravens. It's a special teams coach. He has to do a few kicks close, and then he starts kicking 45, 50 yards back. Well, that's why you do that, because when you're fully warmed up, the majority of your kicks are not on that side of the field anymore. But you have to warm up.
Yeah, you have to warm up going in both directions.
Correct.
To gauge the wind and stuff like that.
Yes.
I don't know what protocol is, but I know it's not throwing the guy's tee whenever he puts it down.
How many times have we seen in NFL history multiple times? I mean, do we see it every single game, every Sunday, where they're throwing kickers, kicking tees away and throwing their helmets out? Or did we just see this for the first time this weekend? Is that something we see every single week? The answer is no. So it's not something that would cause a casual fan to say, let me root for that team. The guys who are throwing the poor little tiny kickers equipment away and not letting them warm up. That usually is not going to win you the opinions. Go ahead, Grumpy. Frank.
This has been a shitty episode. I'm just saying for the show. Frank says, Kelsey is a child. X is correct.
Yep.
When he sang the great Beastie Boys song, For Us to Fight for Your Right to Party. You know how that song goes? No, you don't. Taylor looked embarrassed. LOL. Freedom Front Adventure says, I hate Kelsey. Really evil guy. All the nasty stuff he's pushing. And Swifty has been run through more than any offensive line in history.
That was one that I laughed at.
I don't know about that. But I will say, let me tell you something. Being with Taylor Swift has absolutely helped Travis Kelsey improve his net worth. With
his ad revenue for certain. Absolutely. How many ads did you see Travis Kelsey on before this relationship?
None. I think didn't he have like the Mahomes auto one?
That's since he's been with Swifty.
Oh, so none. Then the answer is none.
Nope. And he got the commercial. That's been new this year since he started.
No. I think no. Last year he did a commercial before the Super Bowl with him and his brother and his mother for Campbell's Soup, I believe.
Yes, they did a Campbell's.
Okay, yeah, that was because of the Super Bowl. Them both going to the Super Bowl. That's correct.
Yes, they did that. He does the Pfizer commercial now, which pays him, I'm sure, quite handsomely.
Like $20 million he got for that.
Yep, $20 million.
Wow, that's more than he makes in a single season of playing football. Give me a little jab.
I'd like to know if he's been vaccinated.
I'm sure he said yes.
Aaron
Rodgers says, get another vax, baby.
That doesn't mean anything.
He's been vaccinated more than anybody else, dude. Have you not seen how many times he's been shot up in that commercial? Every time, dude. That's live.
Yeah.
Well,
Frank says that was such bullshit.
In the movies, when you think they're hitting a guy with a needle, it's just a retractable.
It's a retractable needle. I know.
Here you go. Google, bro.
Let's talk the Islanders for a second. Stan Fischel tweeted today, with the All Star break now upon us, it means that Lou has to be activating the ever reliable Islanders next move machine.
Oh my God.
Well, it just, I can't even talk. I mean, I went off last night on that. I cannot talk about that today. Cannot do it.
Yeah, I'm gonna let you know this. Fuck. If the Islanders make another move and double down on this team, it just makes things even worse. Frank,
Grumpy, look at this. Hold on, Grumpy. Look at this. Look what you did. You were awful.
Hold on. He said his mental health took a hit this year. Now it's even worse because of you. Grumpy.
It's your fault, Grump.
What's
oh
my
gosh?
What's my fault?
You've
Your
heard
comments about the Dolphins and it being rigged. That's the only way they can win. Awful, Grumpy.
But I did apologize, Alex. I said it was a cheap shot, but I did apologize to you right away. It was too easy for me to pick on. Sorry. And everyone knows Alex. Alexander's a great guy. We met. Nice, super nice guy.
Alexander, what you should do, you should be upset with the Dolphins until they get rid of that hack of a quarterback.
And then here we go.
Frank.
Well, Alexander, one of my best friends is a Finns fan. You still had a good team and you made the playoffs, so be happy. That's coming from a Jets fan. They just don't have a quarterback.
It could have been a lot worse. Tua could have torn his Achilles game 1 and then been out for the rest of the year. Could have been a lot worse.
Frank says here, yeah, the Chiefs don't get the calls at all. No, not it at all. Embellishment. God, no goon. I pray the owners don't let senile assholes make a trade. And what the fuck time did the show start last night? When did it come on? Like 11? WTF, TJ? Was Paige beating your ass for being annoying? No, we were at a wedding. So we got on later.
Here's what I wanted to do. I wanted to take a dry run with Son X because when the baby comes, there's going to be shows TJ will not be able to make. He doesn't think that's the case. It's absolutely the case. But TJ, being the tyrannical bastard that he is, said, absolutely not. I'm going to be on this. It's going to be after I get back from the wedding. And I said, I don't want to be doing a show till 1 o'clock in the morning. What time did the show end last night? 1 o'clock in the morning.
Call me crazy. We maybe need X to speak more on this show. And we saw what that was like tonight, Grumpy. I'm not sure how that would go with just you and him on.
I think I would fit in with a lot of the Islanders fans. I'd fit in with a lot of the Islanders fans.
Let's get X.
The officials are why we're losing games.
He is exactly just a fan. Is exactly what it is, Grumpy. He's just
a fanboy. I can't. It's frustrating. It's really frustrating.
I will say it's no more NFL.
Here's the thing. Yes, we just need to get X talking more on this show before we let him have just you and him on the Islanders show, Grumpy.
All he would have to do is read
what other
comments,
people comment,
and I would pontificate. That's all he'd need to do.
Drew L, Grumpy old man.
Grumpy and X are in disbelief. I'm loving it. I'm not in disbelief about anything. It was so frustrating watching that game today with X. I can't even tell you. It was. I'm yelling and screaming at him I'm like, shut the fuck up. That's what I was yelling at him today. I'm like, he wouldn't shut up. He's like a squawk.
You just can't handle the truth. It's okay. Not many can, Grumpy. It's all right.
Oh, squawking again. Joe yapping. All righty. Here you go. What's the next comment we got there, X?
Sorry. Do you star some?
We don't need to store any more comments because we're an hour and a half in and we still have 36 comments.
That's your job, X. You're the comment king. Derek,
are we talking about anything else today besides these two games?
I mean, that was the biggest thing that happened this week in sports, is it not?
Okay,
yes, let's continue. X Grumpy. Re-comment, Grump.
TJ, pull up the Schefter post of Brady and Mahomes stats through 6 years as starter. Need y'all to witness the facts from statistics form since all we're going to do is avoid and play pocket pussy Brady. Okay, here's the thing, Derek. I'm going to call you out now because I know you're young, like in your early 20s. The fucking back of your head is still not solid yet. You have not even watched football how it used to be. How long have you been watching football? Maybe what? Maybe since you understood it, maybe 5-6 years?
10 years.
Football was played differently back in the day. You cannot compare stats between then and now. Just can't do it. Yeah. Okay. Great.
Mahomes versus Brady when they played in the same era. Oh, well, that's crazy. Yeah, that's right. I see a few Super Bowls.
Mahomes versus Brady in the same game. Why don't we do that? 0-2. Let's move on. Okay. Next. Let's go. Next comment. I don't need to look at anything else. I just know he's 0-2 against Brady. That's all that matters. He couldn't beat a 45-year-old man. Sorry. Here's Alex saying, brainwash Brady Meebs. I don't know what a Meeb is. Maybe it's a dweeb. Who knows? Kelsey didn't spike it literally at his head, nor did Kelsey push him back on the ground. He tried to get up. That's why taunting was called. I didn't say that it was that. I said Flowers was absolutely a taunting call. But Travis Kelsey absolutely taunted today with the first down thing right in front of the guy and drawing that penalty after 3 times going at it with them right in front of the officials. They try to back him. He keeps on going back. Flag his ass. That's how you stop it. They didn't. He pushed it. The other guy takes the flag, and then he laughs at him. Duh. Okay. TJ, Klopp spent over $350 million during his tenure. Salah, that's not that much. Salah will still go.
$350 million in 10 years. Are we considering $35 million for summer and winter transfer each window a good amount? Please tell me we're not doing that.
Salah will still go to Saudi for over $200 million. Don't get it mixed up. TJ just wishes Burnley had Klopp success. We'll get Xabi Alonso to replace Klopp.
Why would Xabi take that shithole of a job at Liverpool? That is a fucking shitty job. Go ahead, though, Grump.
Okay, Liverpool is a much better job for him than Bayern Leverkusen. It just is.
Leverkusen has been killing it this year. They're number one.
Xabi will have every single possible option he could want as a manager.
Okay, I don't care. Liverpool is a bigger name job. If you want to go on to be a big, coach at big teams, Liverpool is a step up from Bayern Leverkusen. It just is. If you can't agree on that, I can't help you. I think Jurgen Klopp is one of the best, if not the best coach in world football. I think he's tremendous. His time is over at Liverpool. That's fine. He'll go somewhere else and have success because he's fantastic.
I think Manchester United a bigger job than Liverpool? Thank you very much. Let's just keep moving on. There's going to be a lot more bigger jobs open than that shit squad of Liverpool.
Chelsea.
There's a lot bigger squads who spend a lot more money than that shitty squad of Liverpool, which is the reason why they've lived in mediocrity.
All I said was Liverpool is a much bigger job than Bayern Leverkusen. That's all I said.
You thinking he'll go to Liverpool, I think is just
foolish. I don't know if he will, but if that's where he goes, it's a step up for him. That's all I said.
Yeah. There's a lot of jobs. There's a lot of jobs that are steps up.
Zinedine Zidane is the best manager, by the way.
And again, Xavi declined the rest of his Barca contract. Barcelona hasn't recovered yet since Messi left.
Even last year, Messi was there. They fell apart.
That's correct. Yeah. Dembele, Lewandowski here. Memphis Depay, Aubameyang here. Gundogan. Look at all these players. Ansu Fati, Griezmann. They've had talent. All these players are in their 30s, and Dembele blew. They had Dembele with freaking Messi still there.
Ousmane Dembele's ride out of the stadium when he left was the ambulance. He was injured his entire time with Barcelona.
Go ahead, Grumpy. Go ahead.
All right. Again, I don't. These are the type of squabbles that Alex.
I'm just saying, he's been on his hell. He was not good.
And X get into every single day. Here's the thing. The reason why Barcelona fell apart is because everybody came up through their system. Messi, Xavi Hernandez, Iniesta, Busquets, Piqué, all came up through the system at the same time. When they aged out, all of them aged out at the same time. The team fell apart. And they had nobody, they didn't have, and they tried to do the old Real Madrid approach by doing the, signing the biggest names out there, as opposed to guys who played in the Barca system their whole lives. That's why Barcelona fell apart. You're seeing now, Barca's getting better. They're having guys come up through the system. They're not there yet, but they'll be back because they've gone back to their old ways.
Whereas Real was proactive when they got rid of Ronaldo. And before they got rid of Ronaldo, they were signing other players.
Drew says here, now I know that X is going to avoid all the comments because he doesn't like to get dunked on. But it's safe to say at this point, both you and Grumpy were wrong on Brock Purdy, and I was right.
I totally disagree.
Congratulations to Brock Purdy making the Super Bowl. I still think it's due to the weapons around him more so than him as a player.
I think. Oh, fuck. Okay.
You didn't watch the game, DJ, so you don't know what.
I didn't watch it either. I didn't watch the game.
We're going to move on.
And Elijah Mitchell touchdown. That's it. Way to go, system QB. He's so good. Next up, the Super Bowl. Yeah, I'm rooting. Right. I guess I'll be rooting for him but I don't expect San Francisco to win.
Anthony Ritchie says here, Tony's an effing moron. No team should pick this asshole up. Go work at McDonald's, fool. Yeah, he will probably be without a team after his
I could not understand anything he was saying.
Please, X, if I'm talking to run me over. But yes, he's not going to be on a team. I don't see him sticking anywhere. Go ahead, Go ahead, X, now. I just wanted to finish what I was saying.
I was just saying, yeah, I agree. I could not understand a word he was saying in that video. The only thing I understood was, I'm not hurt, leg, hip, elbow. What is it this week or something like that?
Anthony Ritchie says here, listen, I get it that you guys don't like Kelsey Mahomes. I don't like him either. But you guys are questioning some penalties Baltimore had. That's just being naive, and I'm a Jets fan.
We all said, I don't know what X said. He's just a maniac.
X, don't listen, X. But we all said Baltimore was not good enough, but definitely the calls were.
I agreed. I thought Zay Flowers cost him the game.
Okay.
They didn't deserve to win because they couldn't execute plays, period. At the end of the day, Kansas City executed plays in the first half. Baltimore couldn't execute plays. That's why they lost.
That's right. Watch them both avoid the goalpost now, TJ. Yep, that's right. That's right. I know X and Grumpy, they're both the same.
I just say congratulations to Brock Purdy for making the playoffs.
Johnny Mack says here, good evening, gentlemen. Just get back from a USA Hockey Annual Conference in Florida. I'll watch tomorrow. Smash the like button. Thanks, Johnny Mack.
Don't waste your time, Johnny Mack. This has been a shitty podcast because X, I told him, don't be the way that you were acting at the house today, and he's actually better than he was here, but not much.
That's all my fault. There we go.
No, Drew L says here, I remember when Travis Kelce said he couldn't believe that the Giants let Kadarius Toney out of the building. That take aged horribly considering Waller did way more in less games than Kadarius Toney. Yeah, Kadarius Toney
can't catch the ball.
There's a reason why he had the issues. Remember, he had the fake injury issues in New York, and he's got those again here in Kansas City. It's the same shit. Drew says here, chat, yes, I indeed got the clip of Grumpy yelling, shut the fuck up.
This is the way it was today. It's like, dude, come on. I even told him one time, like, just go home. If I'm going to hear this from you all day, just go back home. I like X coming over the house because I don't get to see him a whole lot. So I like visiting with him, but he was so insufferable today with the penalties, with this and that. I'm like, dude, shut up. I don't want, just go home. It was freaking bad. It ruined my whole day. JG says,
no, I think what's really ruined Grumpy's day is the fact that Brock Purdy's going to the Super Bowl. That's the big.
I could care less that Brock Purdy went to the Super Bowl. I could care less. I don't care. If you ask me if he's a good quarterback, he's not. He can't throw the ball. Everything's a floater. Everything. He can't throw a deep pass. He doesn't have the arm. He just doesn't. I mean, Can they win? He's got good weapons. Fine. But I mean, I don't. Plenty of time.
Please stop.
TJ,
stop.
TJ, are you enjoy being in the line of fire? LOL.
Are you enjoying being out of the line of fire? Grumpy, take a breath. Relax for a second. I told you guys to take a deep breath for 10 seconds, both of you. I need you both.
Shut the fuck up, TJ. Move on to the next comment.
Deep breaths.
Now you're in the line of fire. Good.
TJ, how does it feel not to be the disappointing child today?
Grumpy is a king of disappointment. He always is like that. You just learn to just not listen to him. Kloppo says here, where is all the Brock Purdy hate tonight? Made an insane throw to Jawan Jennings, who made a great one-handed catch.
Yeah, we'll just ignore the throw that he just floated out there, bangs off a guy's face mask, and goes into the hands of Ayuk, which leads to a touchdown. Should have been an interception, and it's the other.
Now you sound like X.
Well, okay. Now, if you actually watch that play, you're going to go, holy shit, what luck.
Anytime you have to speed up where you're talking on 5 times.
Go to the comment, please. Please. They passed the law in 1964 stating you can't predetermine or manipulate an intellectual contest or a game of chance, but left the door wide open for pro sports.
Well, that was, I don't know if you'd heard this. So Dave Portnoy, the guy who owns pretty much Barstool Sports, he was pissed because they had placed bets on that Cincinnati game where they had listed Joe Burrow as active when he was previously injured in that game, and it cost him money, so he was going to sue the NFL, and the NFL went ahead and listed themselves as sports entertainment, which is a way that they got out of getting sued.
Oh, I didn't realize the NFL did that.
So they're listed as sports entertainment, which is the same class that the WWE is listed under, which is sports entertainment. So.
Yep. Anthony Rizzi.
Grump, I agree with Campbell not going for the field goal, but Purdy did lead the 49ers to 27 second-half points. Why is it so hard for people to give him credit? Because Detroit fell apart. They fell apart. After that face mask, bounce off the face mask, into the hands. The game was over. Then the next snap, Gibbs fumbles. 2 plays later, touchdown. That's not Brock Purdy. That's getting a couple of breaks and capitalizing.
Grumpy obviously wasn't watching
the game of the great Purdy. Oh my God.
So Purdy's amazing. Let's go, Purdy.
So what, Grump, that Dan messed up? Because he's a dipshit. He cost him the game. Purdy still had his team back and did watch the game. I did watch the game. I don't need to watch it again. I know when a coach fucks up, and I call it at the time. At the time, I'm like, that's going to come back and haunt
Purdy. Let's go, Purdy.
He kicks it.
Did it cost Michigan?
They win the game.
Did it cost Michigan? Because I remember you saying that Harbaugh was going to mess up for Michigan too.
He hates both the Harbaugh brothers. He
absolutely does. He has a bias towards the Harbaughs. He hates them.
Goon said, "Who lost in the more? LOL. Jets matter today. The Ravens or the Lions? Lions. Absolutely Lions."
Oh God. Okay, here you go.
Okay, Frank says Tua. I told you Zach is better than Tua. You thought I was kidding? Zach on Miami would be a force.
Herbert.
Zach
Wilson.
Zach Wilson.
Oh shit.
Zach Herbert.
Yeah.
I thought he's messing up. Meant to say Herbert.
Zach Herbert, and his favorite ice cream flavor is sherbet.
He could not be talking about Zach Wilson, right? No, Zach Wilson's he's not that good. Alexander said, "Damn, my spelling is bad. I meant triple coverage." It was a great coverage by the defenders here. And Frank also said, "Oh my God, the Swifties would buy that up. Taylor's gonna hire Grumpy."
Yep.
Oh gosh. Here you go. Milo Brownie said, "Grump. Now what's the NFL winding down? Guess what starts up 2 weeks after the Super Bowl game? You guessed it. Formula One, F1. How are you doing with Drive to Survive, Grumpy?"
Not as good as I had hoped, but everyone knows I'm a what's his name, Vanderstappen.
Max Verstappen.
Vanderstappen.
I'm a fan of his. I hope he does great again this year. But I think I think the Daytona 500 starts up pretty soon as well.
You know what that reminds me of? It reminds me of when Grandma, we were like, "Grandma, what's your favorite basketball player?" Kobe Bryant is what she meant.
Troy Polamalu. Yeah.
Now,
Grumpy, have you ever heard the Max Verstappen song?
No, I've not heard of a Max Verstappen.
You need to play the Max Verstappen song.
Not today. Max
Verstappen.
Look how Grumpy is so fucking pissed right now. He is so.
Oh my God. Let's go. You said you have things to talk about. I want to get to them.
You want to know why he's pissed off? He had to deal with X for the entire day. So his
it was horrible.
You're just pissed because I called the game before in the first quarter. I knew it was going to happen. That's why.
And he's doing it again.
Right? Was I right about
Shut the fuck up, please?
I told Grumpy today. I said, "You watch. They want to have Mr. Irrelevant against Mr. Mahomes. Mr. Irrelevant against Mr. Mahomes." I said I'd be willing to bet my life that the
You've been muted, X. You've been muted, X. Oh God.
The next comment, please.
Bree, I need listen. I need both of you guys to take a deep breath, please. Grumpy, your fuse is very short today, and X seems to be
upset that I called it. That's all.
Shut up,
Grumpy. Y'all can't be right. It's okay.
This is good
today. Honestly, the worst he's ever been. It rivals how he was playing the videos.
You just can't handle the truth. That's what it is. All right, here we go.
Let me ask you this, Grumpy. Let me ask you this here real quick, Grumpy. God. How are you feeling, Grumpy? How is your mental health doing today?
I just wish he'd shut up so we can get through the show. I hate, you know what? It used to bother me that he wasn't talking enough. I rescind that. Because
Grumpy's like that Creed song right now.
You're not bringing anything of value to the show. All you're doing is squawking about the penalties and the game.
It's the truth.
I told you, don't do it today. I said, don't bring this attitude to the show. You're going to look like an asshole. And guess what you've done? You've looked like an asshole the whole show. Stop it, please.
I've looked like an asshole with valid points.
You make Alex look good today. How bad do you have to be?
I was going to say, Grumpy's mental health is like that Creed song. I'm 6 feet from the edge and I'm thinking.
Oh, God.
Never heard that song?
TJ, did you ever find a comparison?
Here's another one. Just get rid of this too. This is Nick in the freaking print version.
I looked at your text message. The one guy was on the line of scrimmage. The other guy was over the line of scrimmage. There's a difference. You could be lined up in unison with where the ball is. You cannot be lined in front of the ball. There's a difference. So I looked at it. Wasn't worth showing.
Next comment.
You should have brought up just to embarrass him so I can shut him down like I just shut down X. Drew says, Milo Brownie, I don't think Grumpy wants to talk a bunch of football after both of his predictions literally changed his entire mood during the pod. My predictions had nothing to do with it. It was sitting with X today and hearing him be a Squawk Box. He was supposed to stay here for the second game, but he was so
No, I'm not staying here for the second game. He was
so unhappy with the way the first game went. He wanted me to turn the game off in the third quarter. He was so
unhappy. I don't want to give them viewership.
I'm leaving. I'm like, oh my God. He was supposed to have dinner. He turned down a free meal because he was so pissed about the results of the first game.
Hold on.
I already told you I was not staying for the second game. You knew that.
Well, I know because you were squawking the whole day about it.
Oh my God. So again, just mad that I'm telling him stuff ahead of time. That's what it is. He just doesn't like that.
Hold on. This is a new wrinkle. I didn't know that X was supposed to stay there for the second game because I honestly when X joined in, I'm like, hold on, stop. When X was there, I'm like, wow, he went home. I thought Grumpy had called me up yesterday and told me that X was going to be staying for the games just like the last Sunday. So I was like, okay, cool. I hope they have worked out the issue with the audience. That's more what I was concerned about. And when I saw this, I was like, what the hell is going on? So, okay. Fair enough then, I guess. Goon Grump.
Let's not forget another reason to dislike the Chiefs. Jackson, sexual. Well, that has nothing to do with the Chiefs. Sexual assault on Mahomes.
That's due to Mahomes.
Yeah.
Alexander says, I have the Taylor Swift as much as anyone.
I hate Taylor Swift as much as anyone else.
Okay. It says have.
Situation. He meant to put in hate, Grumpy. I'm telling you right now. I could read it and I could figure out. I was like, oh, guess what? He meant to put hate there.
Okay, I just read the word.
Situation is annoying.
Drew says John Harbaugh didn't cost the Ravens this game. It was Zay Flowers and Lamar on the defensive side of the ball in the first half. He did.
I agree. It was Zay Flowers' fault. Agreed.
JP says, I actually don't believe the NFL will rig and matriculate the Super Bowl, though, because they got what they needed from Swift already. But if the Chiefs win again, I don't think they'll be disappointed either. I think I don't think, but I don't know. It's 50-50 now for me.
We've already discussed here, just to recall, they want to sell merchandise. A whole bunch of Swifties have a whole bunch of disposable income. Young teenage girls want to go ahead and buy Swiftie merchandise. You start swafting, or you start putting Swiftie on NFL gear, you're just going to see increased profits. That's all you're going to see.
They're going to make Taylor Swift jerseys. I'm telling you right now, they're going to make Taylor Swift Kansas City Chiefs jerseys.
Okay, let's move on away from another conspiracy theory. Please stop.
Next comment, Grump.
Frank says, yes, Purdy said, glory to God. That's right. Get back to God, you fuckers. Frank, okay. Hello. Milo Brownie says, X.
Why are you starting comments?
I just started. It was on there. I don't know.
Milo Brownie says, X, you're talking about the Sochi Olympics in Russia. That was 10.
I think I'm mixing the name up of Sochi, and then I was thinking that it was last year's Olympics. It was definitely not last year. Sorry, the last Winter Olympics that they had. There was like no snow anywhere.
Yes, that was in China, Beijing.
Can I just explain to you a little bit about comment etiquette? You let me finish the comment, and then you comment on it.
Okay,
that was 10 years ago.
This is good for when you and Grumpy are going to do the Islanders. So you got to let.
I'm not. I honestly, I think I'm just taking a vow of silence from now on the podcast.
Here's the thing: the good thing about him doing the Islanders podcast is he knows so little about hockey and doesn't really care that he'll be much better. It's that he's emotionally involved in some of these other sports that he loses his freaking mind. He's a total fanboy.
I will no longer talk. No problem.
Oh, here we go. That sounds like the warden there. Drew says, off topic from the NFL. You know who's the hottest team in the NBA right now? The New York Knicks. Next. We don't even need to comment on that. Frank said that. Well, there's our NBA minute. Frank from Empire State said, that game broke my heart. Could have saved Zach's season, but no. Swiftie needs to be happy to bring her potential jersey buyers. Yeah,
yep,
he's not
there
offsides.
It is.
He's not offsides.
This is not offsides, Al. You're in line with the line.
The other one? What's the other picture look like, TJ? Do you have that one?
He sent that to me. Let me delete this and I'll post the other one back up because I don't want this on
post the other one back up because I bet he's like probably 5 yards downfield calling for the pass.
Yeah, I'll
That's
put that up here. Go ahead. Next comment there, X, please. Oh, I'm still sharing the screen.
Teams can have talent, but knowing how to win is an art form and difficult. Absolutely. I think experience in those big situations very, very underrated, without a doubt. Alexander says, TJ Grump, the Islanders are a much better team than what you think the Islanders are. One forward and one top D man away. Yes, if it's Mario Lemieux and Bobby Orr, that's true. If we had those two guys, we'd be in Dutch, but we don't. And we won't
not a good team. We're not a good team. No. It's the reason why our record is as shitty as it currently is.
Alex M says, surprise Klopp wouldn't return to Germany to coach the national team for the Euros and World Cup in 2026, but he claims he's done coaching at age 56. He's definitely done coaching in England. I think you'll see him back again. Maybe he's going to take a little break, maybe a year. But I think X knows this. I think he's phenomenal. I think he's certainly, if not the best, certainly top 5 in the world.
I think he was sick and tired of coaching and managing on a shoestring bid. $35 million a year in summer and winter transfer windows. That doesn't get you shit in today's day of football. Get you one transfer a year. That ain't good enough.
Well, that's what's his name? Henry, who runs the Red Sox, and he's cutting expenses for them too. Alexander says, thank you, Grumpy, but now the Islanders are testing my mental health. Yeah, it's the players, Alexander. I hate to say it's just the players.
Just so you can see where the ball is here, and I'll zoom in for us so we could see even more. Let's see.
It's not where the blue line is, by the way. It's where the ball is.
I'll put this here for you. Boop.
If you look where the actual ball is, it's behind the blue line.
See how his foot, you see the top of his toe is right here in line at the front of the blue line. Oh, wait a second. Hold on a second. The ball is at the very end of the blue line here, but his foot is at the furthest point of the blue line. Huh.
Yes.
That's the difference.
Yes. Frank says, yep, real football was in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, without a doubt. That's when football was best. Alexander M says, Jose Mourinho rumored to go to Barcelona. I don't think that style that he preaches would go in Barcelona. Could be wrong, but we'll see.
I don't know where he's going. I like
JP says,
where he's going.
JP says the NHL refs reversed a high sticking call using replay, finding that Columbus high stick was made by a teammate, not an opponent. Have they been doing that all year? I haven't been cognizant of it. Yes, if they review those things, particularly if it's going to be like a major penalty, they absolutely review that and say no, it's from the whatever.
JP said, crap, I like today's podcast. I guess I'm diseased. Grumpy, it's all about the anger. It's all about the emotion, Grumpy. That's why we would love you to bring more of that to the Islanders Never Say Die show, Grumpy. People love it. Gets the people going.
Alexander Monroe. Once again, Alexander Monroe says, I'm just going with Alexander Monroe. TJ must not know much history, but Liverpool is one of the best English teams in history, up there with Man United. There will be a slew of candidates interested in that job. Absolutely. Absolutely. I don't understand how you can even say that.
Okay. In 10 years, Klopp has had 350 million pounds to work with. How many million?
I don't think that's the case.
You just saw here from the Liverpool fan himself, 350 million pounds under
he didn't
Klopp.
Stay over 10. He hasn't even
Klopp
been there.
Been there for 10 years. He's been there for a decade, and they spent 350 million pounds under him as the boss and as the manager. How many hundred millions of pounds does Man United spend every fucking offseason? 100 million to Anthony. Here you go. Hey, have an Anthony. Hey, we're giving out for Ron. Hey, we're giving out 80 million for Hoyland. They give out, okay, the transfer budget is, I'd say, 2 or 3 times as much for Man United as is Liverpool. Why the fuck would a manager ever say, let me work with a team that is going to give me less resources to be successful? Sign me up. No, use your brain.
I'm going to bet it's more than $350 million over 10 years. They brought in Diego Jota. They brought in Nunez. They brought in Virgil van Dijk. These are all guys that they had to pay.
Van Dijk went for nothing from Southampton. Absolutely nothing if you look at what he was signed for.
So in other words, they wait till guys are out of contract before they sign them. They're still got to pay those guys.
Pull up. You're just wrong on this one. That's fine. Frank says hit the thumbs up. Oh, what? Salah, the Jets coach, is going to the Saudis. Please, God, please. Okay, here you go, Grumpy. Kloppo.
Grump, you think X is bad watching football with? Try watching the World Cup final with him when he thought it was over when Argentina was up 2-0. Ha ha.
Who won the game?
Like I said, it's hard when he has a vested interest in something. It's funny. We watched the Real Madrid game and we had a nice conversation as the game was happening, even when Madrid was losing. And I said, this is what a watch along should be like. But he just loses his mind sometimes when he has a hatred for somebody where, I'm able to stay even keeled. And
but he's just, God, that's
funny. That's
really funny. That's really funny. That's funny. That was a good one.
Okay.
Joke of the night. All
right. Frank says Tony is garbage. He'll be out of the league tomorrow. No, it'll be at the end of the season.
Okay, just to show you real quick here. Go ahead. Oh, go ahead, Grumpy.
Well, okay. All right. Sorry.
X is absolutely correct. Legally, the NFL is considered sports entertainment, which was a result of Mayer versus Belichick. Well, I'll tell you what.
And then
that's what
sports has sports entertainment classification too.
Okay. Can't talk over each other, please.
I just wanted to get to the additional fact that was in that comment. That's all.
All I was going to say was, before you cut me off, was that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But you
okay.
Cut me off, so.
First year, right? This is 13-14. Sold off more than they brought in.
Okay, but that doesn't mean that they're not investing that
32 million euros. So euros, not pounds. Euros are much less valuable than pounds. So we're just looking at euros is what we're looking at here currently. Next year, 99 million euros, sold 150 million. This is when they went ahead and sold off, I believe this was...
Can you go back to it, please? Can you go back to the number, please? The income was 99, expenditure 151. So they've spent 52 million overall balance. They're 52 million.
Sorry.
Over.
Correct. I'm sorry. There's the expenditure. 151 million euros. My mistake.
That's not that you think about. That's just 1 year. I guarantee they spent more than 350 over 10 years.
Pounds, probably. I don't know. I just went off what he said, Grump.
Well, I'm just.
Do I have exactly what they've spent year over year? I couldn't tell you.
We do right here.
Here it is. That's what I'm about to say. You're looking year by year by year.
126, another minus 36 million in the hole.
Yeah, maybe it's the total overall balance that they've spent with their offloads and then their purchases.
Yeah, I don't know.
350 million.
Well, they're already in the hole. Just looking at those 2 years, they're in the hole for what? 26, and what was the other one? 30, 40, 60?
There's 36.
I mean, 52.
So here's the thing there, Grumpy. Ideally, right? The money you're receiving from league revenue should hopefully allow you to be
balance that out.
Positive, Grump.
But the money's
they also won Champions League, so that's an injection of over 100,000 euros. The winner of Champions League wins 100,000 euros.
Okay, I'm just looking at departures and arrivals and departures. That's all I'm looking at.
More than 100,000 X. It's 100 million, I believe.
Oh, that's what I meant. Sorry, did I say 100,000? Yeah, I meant 100 million.
Yes.
Yep, 100 million euros.
So this year, yes, they spent. It looks like they spent a lot more than 350 million euros. That being said,
million. I don't know.
That being said, they don't invest enough in the team. Simple as that. I mean, like you're pretty much you have to make sure you sell off more in some years to make sure because look at this shit. I'm sorry, they're not spending enough money. Oh, look, here's another. They're 10 million in the green because they're selling more than what they're buying. Virgil van Dijk went for a lot more than what I thought there from Southampton. Okay, 85 million pounds.
But they spent 173 million.
Yeah, they sold for 135 million to that freaking loser squad Barca.
But they're just reinvesting the money.
Well, look at Real Madrid's. They always spend way more than they bring in. I'm just saying they always spend way more than
Grumpy he's going to ignore that. Grumpy's going to ignore that.
All I'm saying is that I guarantee they spent more than $350 million over a 10-year period of time, and they obviously have. That's all I said.
Okay, Grumpy. Here's the thing. There's other teams that spend a whole hell of a lot more than Liverpool does. And that's why there's a lot more teams that are more successful than them. That's simple.
Drew says, so Grumpy, when the Falcons were up 28-3, did the Falcons choke or was Tom Brady so great he just led them back into that game. Be real, it was a mix of both. Same with Brock Purdy. No, because they didn't make any critical blunders. It was Tom Brady being so great. What about the catch by Julio Jones down the sideline? They didn't shit the bed. The Patriots just beat
the Falcons shit the bed. Are you kidding me?
Tom Brady. They saw Tom Brady on the other side, and they said, "Where are we?"
Guess what? They shit the bed, but Brady helped lead him back, just like Brock Purdy did today. Absolutely salient point there, Drew. Kloppo,
okay,
Grump.
I think we're all united against X and Grump on the greatness of Purdy. You must be. If you think that he's great, you're absolutely. I'm not with you on that.
I think he's an above average QB. That's what he is.
He's
Aaron
average.
Glendon. Oh, now Aaron he's a Detroit fan. So sorry for. Hey, Aaron, things went well though this year for you guys. Better than you could have expected. The fall comes before the rise. It's not over, and it will never be over. Yep, absolutely here. Did you guys see? There's a floor hockey in Czech Republic. No, I did not. Oh, I think maybe something. This podcast is one for the ages, says Drew. Goon Grumpy.
How many more times would Billy Martin have managed the Yankees if he had lived? Would King George have learned to forgive? He would have coached. They say he was on the verge of getting hired again during that. He died on Christmas Day. They said he was going to be back to be the Yankees manager for, I believe, sixth or seventh, when the season started. I'm going to bet probably at least 3 or 4 more times. He was 60. So
yeah.
Drew said, Grumpy. Okay.
Jesus, TJ, let me just hit it.
Grumpy, in all honesty, I feel honored if you exploded your anger onto me. It's well-deserved today.
Grumpy's very angry today. X, you have done this to him. Spend enough time with X, and Grumpy has the shortest fuse known to mankind.
You're welcome.
Kloppo.
Also, I watched something on Lacey Peterson. Lacey Peterson, some girl that was murdered. They said it was the husband. But that guy got fucking railroaded. And I didn't know anything about it at the time. I heard the names and everything, but I didn't pay attention. But then you watch this documentary, like, holy shit, how did that guy go to jail? It was so obvious, just common sense. It couldn't have been done, but whatever. So that aggravated me. And then X came over. It's like, what the fuck, X? Okay. Alex Monroe says both were lined up in front of the ball. Oh my God. Thanks. Click. Alex, stop being Nick. Just stop.
Stop being X, Grumpy. His name is X. God damn.
Derek Monroe says, I told X to keep his tissues near the microphone for the pod tonight. I knew he would need them. I don't think he needs tissues. He's just crazy.
Drew says, love you, Grump. After 2 cups of coffee.
So I can see what's happening.
After 2 cups of coffee, Brock Purdy's legendary performance today. I'm perked up. Not perked up, but perked up. There it is.
Up.
JP
Brock
says,
Purdy.
I love these shows. There it is, Grumpy. Everybody loves your mental sanity going away. I like it too. Goon, Grumpy. Says, Grumpy, I hear you. If the refs sucking the Chiefs bungholes today. But let's not forget how the refs used to blow down the bow down to Darth Belichick and kiss his rings back in the People's Champions era.
I disagree.
Well, that's just not.
You mind elaborating, Grumpy?
My little brownie thinks. Who thinks Iowa and Caitlin Clark will win the NCAA championship? Grumps, she's really good. I fucking hate her, my little brownie.
After that flop,
She
after
faked the flop after she ran at the girl and she did a little tumbleina routine. I'm absolutely rooting against her. I don't even know who to root for. Anyone but Iowa. That's all I'm saying.
You can root for the LSU team. LSU is pretty good.
They had 14 people in the stands. I mean, friends and family.
Frank, it's a great show. I love Grumpy's family arguing. I'll laughing my ass off here. Klopp joined in October 2015. Okay, gotcha. So he was like 8.5, 9 years. TJ doesn't know what to do if he'd spend that Saudi money. Liverpool offered over $100 million for Moses Caicedo, but he wouldn't offer near the same for Jude. Well, Pep spent over $1 billion with City, yet they're still on their heels most of the year. Well, let me ask you this.
Can I just say one? I'll let you touch on it. I just want to say one thing just to clarify. Jude Bellingham did not want to go to Liverpool. He wanted to go to Real Madrid. That's why he's at Real Madrid.
That's correct. And I'll say this too.
Took less money to go to Real.
The teams and people who spend more money are going to get better players. That's why you're going to see the Saudi league continues to get bigger and bigger names because they're willing to spend the money. Liverpool working on a shoestring budget, not spending the money. Good luck. You'll see. You'll just fade into mediocrity, just like all the teams do. You had a fantastic manager. Be happy he's been so great, and your team's had this is the renaissance for Liverpool Football Club. Just wait. Gungun says here, why didn't Clubber Lang?
Clubber Lang.
Fuck
Jesus
Clubber
Christ,
Lang.
the Rocky 3, Kluber. Why didn't Kluber Lang? God damn.
I don't watch
Clubber
movies.
Lang.
Fuck 'em.
Clubber. How the fuck is that Kluber? In any way,
Clubber Lang make more appearances in the subsequent Rocky films. I always thought that that was an obvious maneuver.
Ivan Drago, and Kluber Lang.
I think he died, didn't he? He had like really bad cancer. He died recently, didn't he, Clubber Lang? Ivan Drago. Oh shit!
Dude.
Who? I thought that was the Ivan Drago fella. Was Clubber Lang?
Oh my God!
That's
Ivan
Dolph
Drago was
Lundgren.
a character, and Clubber Lang was a character in the Rocky movies.
I thought if he dies, he dies. That was the Clubber Lang guy.
That wrong.
X, you're back in my good graces because TJ's just a freaking boob.
Don't worry, I can say
What
something.
was the rest of the comment? What was the rest of the comment?
It's gone forever now, Grumpy, because you
What was
couldn't
it?
read quick enough.
What was it, Kluber? Pull it back up. X, pull it back up. I want to see it again.
Oh my God!
Why didn't Kluber Lang make any more appearances in subsequent Rocky films? I always thought that was an obvious maneuver. Bring back defensive back Cooper.
Yes, bring
And
back
Clubber
D.E.
Lang.
Cooper.
By the
Um,
way, speaking of me, I was going to say me yawning. There's a video of LaMelo Ball yawning on the bench and trying to hide it. Think about how bad the freaking Hornets are. Terrible.
All right, what the fuck does that have to do with anything?
The
I
reason why
yawned. So I
the
thought
reason who nobody cares. The reason why Clubber Lang was not back is he was a one-dimensional villain where Apollo Creed was not. That's what you didn't see the main villains come back in more than one episode. So usually. Alexander says, has anyone seen Johnny Dangerously? Yes, I have. Your Fargan Ice Hole. That was a movie with Michael Keaton and Mary Lou Henner back in, the 1980s, maybe 1982, 83, something like that. And instead of cursing, Maureen Stapleton was in also. They would instead of saying like F&A hole, they would say Fargan Ice Hole. Joe Piscopo was also in it. And it was like a throwback to like the 1930s gangster movies. It was entertaining.
Now, Drew sent us a few of these. He said, look at this, Grumpy. I don't know if he's just trying to get your blood boiling, Grumpy, but look at this. Emmanuel Acho. He says, Brock Purdy, down 7 in the divisional round in a pouring rain. No problem. Down 17 in the conference championship game. No problem. Hate Brock Purdy all you want. It's no problem. That's right, Grumpy.
I just don't think he's that good. I just don't think he's that good.
And he's pointing at you, Grumpy.
That's fine. Doesn't mean I have to think he's a good quarterback. I just don't think he's that good.
Third youngest quarterback to start in Super Bowl. Looky there, Grumpy. That's pretty good. Oh, my God. Oh, that's Phil's facts.
What did it say?
JP. That was from a while ago. JP.
I know how I can cheer you all up before the end of the night. On Long Island, we're having our 4th straight day of 36-degree temperatures and rain. Good night. Yeah, boy.
God.
Yikes.
TJ and X, one more reminder about what I sent you.
Okay, here it is.
And if you were wondering, Grumpy, why I star that, that's the reason why I star that.
Why don't you just put it in the private chat to TJ?
Because everybody needs to know TJ's failing.
Here it is. This is also Drew sent here. He says, the Chiefs, Kadarius Toney is out due to injury. Tony, I'm not hurt. They're lying. Everybody, if you're healthy, then they must have benched you because you're not good. Tony.
Motherfucking, down, motherfucking,
How old is that kid?
He's young. That kid is young.
He looks like he's about, what, 10?
He's young.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. What's his
like
name like when you're cursing like that?
Speaking of spending money, Burnley might not spend. They might need to spend a few bucks to upgrade that shitty relegation team they've got there. They're going to get relegated, Al. But here's the thing. They're selling off assets now to make sure that they could go ahead and load up and be ready for the ascent back up from the championship the next year. And then they're going to pummel that shitty Liverpool squad as they're fucking down in the relegation zone like they belong. You go, Frank.
Is it difficult rooting for a team in English soccer that's never on television?
They're on TV all the time, every time they play.
They won't be next year. Frank from Empire State says, left my ass up. Kluber.
Here you go, Grumpy. Derek Monroe.
4 Super Bowl appearances, first 6 years as a starter. We're blessed to witness Mahomes' greatness, fellas. Shame on you. No choice but to pull against it. I don't think he was great today. I thought he was really good in the first half when they let him do whatever he wanted. I thought he was really good against Buffalo. I thought his best playoff game ever was against the Eagles in the Super Bowl last year. Other than that, he's been underwhelming in the playoffs, really.
I thought the guest game he ever played was against the Bills years ago in the conference championship. I thought that was the best game that Mahomes ever played, where the Bills kind of lost in that game, but it was a really good job by Mahomes. I thought that was the peak of his playoff performance so far.
I thought he was also good against the Patriots when the Patriots beat them in 2018 as well. I thought he was good in that game.
Oh, that's right. How about was he?
I thought he was good in that game.
I thought he was pretty good in the Super Bowl when he played the Tampa Bay Buccaneers with Tom Brady. I thought he was pretty good that game too.
No, he was terrible in that game. Not good. The only Super Bowl he's really played good in was the one last year against the Eagles. I thought he was really good in that one.
Here you go. Son X. I think the Islanders fleece blanket makes his triumphant return. It can turn those sad sacks mediocre season around.
Can I just tell you something, you son of a bitch? I just told you, wait till he finishes reading the fucking comment before you comment on it. He starts reading it and you start.
It works better.
He doesn't like getting information before the end of the game.
X, you do just wait till I'm done reading, and then you have first comment rights, my friend, and you can comment right after. But what do you want to say?
I would say it's gonna make a return.
Okay, hold on. It's gonna. You couldn't wait for me to finish my fucking sentence for you to say it's gonna make its return.
My God.
All righty, here you go. Coho versus Kluber.
No, it's Kuhu versus
Kuhu. I'm sorry, Kuhu versus Kluber.
Right, what else did you have to get to?
I wanted to mention this here. You mentioned about the NBA, Grump. I don't know if you mentioned very briefly about the NBA. Mentioned very briefly the NBA that there's we talked about them because we talked about the Knicks. That was enough about it. Now look here, in the last 5 days, look at the fucking scoring that was put up by guys here. I mean, look at Doncic, 73 points. Joel Embiid, 70 points there. Booker, 62. And then Karl Anthony Towns, 62 as well. Look at how many big point games that have been put up in the last 5 huge performances, individual performances in the last 5 days in the NBA. I cannot remember a time period that I've seen something like this.
Yeah, I'm trying to, you know what? I can't remember back in the day. Certainly not in the 70s. Absolutely not. But guys used to score like in the 50s, a lot. But yeah, these numbers are really high, very unusual. I don't know if it's the first time ever or not. I don't know.
No, I don't know if it's the first time ever, but it's for my recollection, it has been the first time in a long time. Mentioning this right here, by the way, Travis Kelce breaks Jerry Rice's playoff reception record.
The game is totally different today than it was back then.
I know they were glazing all over him. Couldn't get his cock out of the mouth, and I was like, "Come on, man!" I'm like, Jerry Rice is a million times better receiver than Jerry Rice is the best receiver to ever play the game.
Yes.
And Travis Kelce's not even the best tight end to play the game. Now, it's funny. They talk about, hey, why have we seen such high point totals here for individual performances? Look at this in the NBA. It's disgusting, Grumpy. Look at this here.
How many steps does he take?
He's already 10 of 13 for the field.
Oh, nice defense.
Doing it all.
Look at the fucking defense here.
It's like an all-star game. This is how all-star games are played.
Oh, it's just, I don't know how people watch the NBA night in, night out. Look at this shit. No defense. Zero defense required. They're putting up like 120, 130 points a night. Antonio Brown, by the way, made an appearance again on social media. Yes. So what he's doing currently is he's trying to beat CTE. And the people are riling him up like, you're beating CTE today, Antonio Brown. He went on a freaking posted a whole bunch of shit, and he liked this one, the CTESPN. He's been posting a lot of this stuff over here recently about the CTE and about like all over the place. A content mill is what Antonio Brown has been today. I tell you, the CTESPN.
Oh my God! Can you read that?
CTESPN. What? My son, this is Odell Beckham Sr. He says, my son deserves a better quarterback play. You set him up for failure today. This loss is not on OBJ. Holy shit. This has got to be fake. Is it not?
Yeah. Who's that thing? Oh, at Ron.
He says, free OBJ. It's a parody account.
It's fake.
Okay.
It's fake, Grumpy. Yes. So, but like he just putting CT ESPN on every single link. Damian Williams was arrested there. Holy shit. Okay. I didn't know that.
Right to women. That's good.
Told you. He's been a little racist towards white individuals today, calling every single post he's making there. He's saying, "Told you, crackers," every single time he's putting that up over there.
Why isn't he banned from something?
He's just crazy. Travis Kelce, the dopest cracker. Look at this. Never get a divorce. Ben and AB. You're the one who caused the issue there, Antonio Brown. But man, Antonio Brown is just going just absolutely crazy here as of recent.
And do you still think he makes the Hall of Fame?
No, he's not making the Hall of Fame. He's like, if Tom Brady sees this post, yeah, listen, I fucked up. Oh my God. I don't know what is going on, what he's posting about, but he's going, who took Lamar Jackson shield off? WTF. I don't know what the hell's going on. He's going absolutely nuts today, though, about Antonio Brown, about himself, about CT ESPN, about freaking Big Ben. I don't know what's going on with him. He was going nuts today, but it was funny to laugh at.
All right, this guy.
Steroid era really was the best entertainment. I'm like, the steroid era was like 10 years ago, my man. We're a little late.
They're still doing something. Players are all too big.
The grumpy old man, is he a national treasure?
Yes.
Ah, there it is. There it is. Let's wrap the show up here today. We're here at the end. Grumpy X, what do you have to say before we wrap things up here?
I want to say love and laughter to everyone who listens, and even those who don't, from TJ, the grumpy old man, and Son X. And I apologize today for the unevenness of this show. And X is insane.
I think the listeners enjoyed this today, Grumpy. I'm sorry to run you over. I think they enjoyed this, though.
X's insane ramblings and TJ's tyrannical behavior. My apologies.
X, what do you want to say?
Enjoyed the podcast. Enjoyed the fan interaction involvement. Boycott the NFL, and we'll see you next time.
X, let me ask you this. Do you have your microphone up and working that you've been saying you've been working on for 3 weeks now?
No.
When do we expect to have that completed?
Never.
I don't know. Eventually. As it goes, eventually.
Let's get it up by Thursday. Let's have the goal to have your part ordered by Thursday from Amazon.
He said he was going to have it up by today. He said he was going to have it up by today.
That he did. He did say that last podcast. Let's say Thursday, X. We're holding it to you.
Oh, hold on. Here we go. There's one more. Do you have that clip, or I'll look at it on my own time?
Where's the clip where Duke men's basketball team was robbed against Duke at Cameron Indoor? X missed that comment. Need that clip, TJ. I know Duke won by a point at the end. I didn't see any of that game, though. So
yeah, I didn't watch any of the game. But yeah, I heard it was close. I don't know.
We were too busy watching the Islanders lose at that point in time yesterday.
Oh, God. Oh, so it was yesterday here, huh?
I didn't know if you had that clip or not, TJ. That's why I just put it up there.
Sent it to me here. Hold on a second. I'm not sure. It looks like they were both jumping to the ball, right? Okay, I'll put it up here. This is like the last. I guess these are the last little portions here. We'll put up real quick to knock it up and finish up the show. They were down 4 points with 2 minutes left to go.
Talked about numbers in the losses. They wanted to limit this production, but they haven't been able to do it in the second half. Kyle Filipowski, for the second time, misses
2-minute clip.
No.
The guy stole the ball. What's the matter with that?
Get inside.
Another steal.
I don't know. Doesn't look like they're getting robbed right now. These are the steals. I assume this is what he's complaining about. Is that what we're complaining about? Question mark. And I guess maybe there's another steal at the end. They're still down by 2. I don't get it. What's the complaint?
I don't understand.
Okay, they made a few steals and Clemson couldn't close out a game. But
here's what it was. Looked like Proctor pushed off and leaned into the contact. I have no idea.
Welcome to basketball.
I wish he kept the same energy watching the Chiefs game against the Ravens today regarding non-calls. But let's wrap things up here today. Thank you, X. Thank you, grumpy old man. Grumpy.
Yeah.
Sorry that things didn't go as well as planned, but I was happy. Grumpy was angry the entire show. That made me happy.
We got to keep you on your toes, keep you lively, Grump.
I will say this much. X, maybe you need to start watching more sporting events at the grumpy old man's house. We had his full attention the entire show. We need Brock Purdy to play well. That really seems to piss Grumpy off a good bit. That makes me happy too. So, I like those things going on. It makes Grumpy lively, angry, not watching TV. That makes me a happy man.
Okay, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to lock you in a room with X, but you won't be able to get near him, okay? It'll stop you from touching him. He's going to put you like in a little box or
With
something.
like a glass barrier.
And we'll just let him just rant after watching him. You're going to lose your mind too.
Okay, you want to know what I find funny? Majority of the shit. Here's the thing that I find hilarious.
He's going on another rant. Get ready.
No, just listen to this. Listen to this real quick. Majority of the shit that I would rant about, you would call in 2 minutes after I'd ranted about it, and you would rant to Grump about it. The same exact shit. So I don't want to hear it. I think Grumpy's just mad because he was hearing the same thing twice.
It's my fault why Grumpy's angry, huh?
That's right. You just shouldn't have called in, dude.
Oh,
I remember I always told my children, I said, you know what? I'm here for you anytime. I'm rescinding that order.
who are you not here for now, Grumpy? Is it the X-Men?
Me.
Either one of you, because you're both the same.
I'm at the bottom of the list now.
Oh, there it is.
After I helped Grumpy with his sound bar today, I managed to move my way down to the bottom of the list.
You know what he didn't do? He didn't fill up the water.
Oh, X, fill up those water, buddy.
Fill up what's already full.
And guess what? Fiance Y comes over. Oh, Grumpy, could you get me a bottle of water? And then what do you think? I go to hand it to her. I go to the refrigerator. I get her a bottle of water. I go to give it to her. X wants to take it like somehow he's giving her water. I'm like, I said, get your hands off me, you damn dirty ape. And
Maybe
I just gave it
your grubby arms.
I gave it to Fiance Y.
I didn't want your grubby arms in front of me. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Just hand it to me.
You want to know what
he's
he's
a charcoal? Hand it over.
As he's ranting about the game, he's building some little freaking Lego castle for 8-year-olds.
Harry Potter Lego set. Yep, that's right.
Fuck.
That's right.
Man. All righty. Well, I think this is a good place to end things. Thanks so much, guys. Grumpy, I enjoyed seeing you angry. I enjoyed seeing your short fuse. I enjoyed seeing X pushing all your buttons. That was fun. I enjoyed that. And I enjoyed, it was hard to listen to X complain and bitch and moan.
It's very easy, actually.
Grumpy, I will say you deserve a medal if you had to listen to that for 4 hours today. If things were as bad as
not 4 hours, but
you deserve a medal, Grumpy old man. We commend you for your efforts. Thank you, X. Thank you, Grumpy. We'll be live with you guys Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thanks so much, guys, for watching. Thank you, Grumpy. Thank you, X.
My pleasure.